Welcome, everybody, to Games Talk Live. It's going to be a circus today. Yes, it will. I've got, of course, GAAS with me here. How are you doing, GAAS?
I'm good.
Good.
Why you got circus music
Yeah,
playing?
you like that? You
I'm
like
confused.
that? Well, that's perfect for you. That's why. You bring the circus, you bring the noise, you bring the craziness, you bring the insanity, and most of all, you bring the sauce.
Oh, hell yeah, man. Circus music. That's the music King Thrash was born to. What are you doing here?
Stop it. Stop it. Stop
I
it.
just started.
He's just getting started, folks. I want to welcome the chat in today real quick. Thank you all for being here. Boss Mod Lethal Papa, I see you, man. You're holding it down as moderator. I appreciate you, brother. Got another guest here, of course. This man is making his debut on the show. I've been wanting to get him here for a while now. Love your content. Doc Dark 1985 is here. Welcome.
1985.
Thank you, Fonz. You know, there's levels to this.
Yeah, there's always
GAAS, I
levels to
appreciate
this.
you being on here as well. Chat, how's everyone doing? I am the resident pony bot, as they call me. So today I'm going to be giving a different perspective on this. Everyone's cheering and celebrating. I got to bring everyone down back to reality.
Kill him.
I'm dressed for business, as you can see. So
Yeah.
we're ready.
Yeah, well, welcome. We're glad to have you. I want an opposing argument here, and that's great that you're bringing some kind of balance to the show, especially with GAAS. Here. GAAS
I ain't
is gonna
scared.
go-
Everyone's terrified of GAAS.
No.
Nobody wants to debate GAAS. I've been on his show before. I'm not terrified of GAAS.
Who's terrified of GAAS? He's
Everybody.
like 5'2". Like
He's calling people out all the time.
No, I know you're not 5'2".
I watch Twitter. He calls people out all the time. Nobody wants to go debate him. I don't understand it.
No. We
Will
will
soon
have a
enough.
great show.
That 185. There's levels to this. And you're
There
going to
is.
see them.
There is levels to this, and we will definitely be going up a level today for sure. I can tell already. Doc, let everybody know about when you got started on YouTube and how you came upon all of this. I see you growing. You're growing steadily, and I've watched your videos now for years now. Past couple of years, I caught on to you, and you always do that. There's levels to this when you intro your video, but what made you get started into YouTube and stuff? Like your first time on the show, gotta ask.
I appreciate it, Fonz. So I actually got started because I'm part of the stigma that gaming is not for adults, or that you're not a man if you game, right? So I didn't have a lot of real life friends, real life co-workers that gamed and stuff like that, or at least I didn't know I had them. So for whatever reason, I decided to just turn on a camera and start talking about video games a few years back. And I just did it just to do it. So I just turned on the camera, started talking about video games. And then I was surprised as to how people wanted to hear grown-ups talking about video games, and it caught on. And then I got a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Confident. And I would talk about video games at work. And then I found out a slew of people at work that also play video games. It's like we're all hiding the fact that we like video games, because it is kind of weird.
Well, there used to be a real stigma behind being an adult and loving to play video games and loving the hobby. I think that stigma has gone away a lot. A lot of people now are in my, for instance, where I work. I didn't know certain people played video games, but I would bring something up and they would get involved in the conversation about video games. And it's like, oh yeah, you play. Yeah, cool. And now it's like, I see that happening more now. Years back, even going back 15 years though, I remember trying to talk to adults about games and they'd look at me like, nah, I don't play games. And then I would go to these people's house and I see a video game console. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought, oh, well, I don't like to talk about it, and it's just like, but now they do.
No.
Now people are talking.
For sure. And then as I started talking about video games, that's where I learned the whole there's levels to this, because I thought I was an avid gamer. And then I realized I'm not even close to what some of these people. To some people, this is a hobby. To some people, this is a passion.
Oh,
To
I
some
know.
people, this is a drug. Right? It's a completely different level. Some of you guys have history in gaming stuff that you guys remember, and it's just wild. And I have grown even in my trolling, even in my videos where I make fun of people and stuff like that. I have grown to still respect those people that are truly passionate about this. You know what I mean? Because there is a certain level of respect that's due to, in my opinion, to all of those gamers that have been gaming for a while. You know, so I understand where I come from. I understand where my position is in gaming as far as how fickle I am with loyalty, right?
Yeah.
Like I say it all the time in my videos. I'm really quick to I could switch in a heartbeat. If something looks better on this side, I'll go to that side. It's whatever benefits me. So I'm a selfish gamer, and I say that unapologetically, right? So
no, you have to be unapologetic around these parts, especially within this community that we are a part of. Like, you have to stand by what you say. If you do not do that, you will be come after. People will come after you for sure, sure. People like GAAS. He'll do that. He will.
Not that bad.
People like, oh no, it's Alex. There's a lot of people out there who love to dip into the sauce. But anyway, it's really good to have you here. What do you primarily play on, though? Let me ask you that.
Oh, it's not even a question.
What is it?
PlayStation.
Game Pass. Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Got it on my PC and my Xbox.
Game Pass, baby. That's what
I play
I'm
on
talking
Xbox.
about.
Xbox is the main thing that I play, but Game Pass is my main thing, and that has been since day one. Everyone could go. You could go check the statistics. I've been repping Game Pass since the beginning of all of this.
I did not at the beginning. I was against it.
You did not?
I was against it.
You were one of those doom and gloomers.
Oh, I was. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And then I saw the light, or at least my wallet did, and I was like, oh. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Value speaks to me in a big way. No, it's good to have you. And there has been some breaking news today, guys. Apparently, Jim Ryan has folded. He has signed a deal with Microsoft for COD, and we're going to get into that a little bit later. But we have to start. We have to talk about how Lina and the FTC just wasted taxpayer money, essentially. In a case that you probably all heard of if you're here, FTC against Microsoft for the ABK merger. The FTC lost big. Judge Corley just basically shut them down. Then they come back and try to appeal, and that gets shut down before the ink even dries. I mean, at least in my mind, I'm thinking that they knew going in when they turned that appeal in. They already knew. The Ninth Court of Appeals, they already knew. We're not going to entertain this. They knew, especially on Friday when we found or when we heard that hearing was going on, for the FTC and their basic mismanagement of the company or of the Federal Trades Commission. They basically roasted. GAAS dropped. He is back now, I think. Anyways, they basically roasted the hell out of Lina Khan for like 3 hours. And you guys saw this, right? You guys saw some of this. I didn't watch the whole thing. Now, I don't sit there and make it a point to watch C-SPAN, but the nuggets that I was getting on Twitter, the clips, and I have a couple of clips to play, were pretty much the sauce, weren't they, guys?
Bro, there was the sauce, and then there's that kind of sauce, man. She got I was going to say something bad there. She got absolutely roasted. I was going to say spit roasted.
Let me go ahead and play a couple of. Let me play a couple of these.
You're failing in that. You're going to fail. You then took on Microsoft. Microsoft's a big company. Everybody up here seems to want to beat on anyone that has over $1 trillion market cap. And when you served on the committee, you were big on, if you were over $1 trillion, we need to break you up or stop you. However, that merger that you lost the other day is one in which a protected market that Sony enjoys in Japan, a company that is already larger, needs competition. The reality is, we are a global market, and you are thinking only of who you want to go after for some reason. And I cannot find your logic, and I believe that it begins.
That is harsh so far, right?
Yeah.
At the top, when you blamed your staff and said staff decisions, shame on you. The fact is, you run this organization, and its left turn came when you took over, not with the staff that many of whom would have already been there.
Determinations.
But are you bringing cases that you expect to lose?
Damn.
Are you bringing cases that you expect to lose?
Absolutely not.
Okay, well, your track record seems to suggest otherwise. Let's look more closely at the Activision decision. The court
Crazy.
first noted that in an attempt to lower your burden, you essentially made up case law. You couldn't find anything actually that the courts have provided in terms of precedent. So you cited to your own FTC decision as precedent. But irrespective of the legal standard, the court, you probably wouldn't have won under.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen. Like I said, I'm here to represent
All right.
the Sony fan base today, so I need to explain something to you.
All
of them are paid by Microsoft.
Go,
All of them are
All of them paid by Microsoft.
All paid by Microsoft. All paid by Microsoft, okay? Before Lisa Khan went in there, her notes were taken away from her. This is inside information that I know. Her notes were taken away from her, so she couldn't defend herself properly, okay? They're all paid by Microsoft, all right? Actually, that's Bill's cousin right there. That gentleman right there, okay? Bill's cousin, okay? This is all I know. These are all facts, all right? Nothing of this is made up.
Yeah, okay.
Any standard because the court said
Red
this,
Dragon.
that the FTC has not raised serious questions regarding whether the proposed merger is likely to substantially lessen competition. Not raised serious questions. The court also rejected not only rejected your assertion of a likely anti-competitive effect, but found just the opposite.
Just big words.
The
He's just using
record
big words.
evidence.
Yeah. What do you got to say
It's
about
like
that?
Willie Gamer.
trying to confuse
no,
her.
he doesn't use a big word.
Well,
That's what he's
he didn't bring up anything about being able to build bridges had they not went after this $70 billion deal. So, no.
Points to more consumer access. So why should Americans have faith in your judgment when this Biden-appointed judge says you are
Because
so
America
far
was
off
built
the
on
mark?
faith. You see, I can't watch this. This is why I can't watch it.
Congressman, this matter is still pending before the FTC in administrative adjudication, so I'm just going to be limited in what I can say about the merits.
don't
Our
tell them that.
complaint lays out the staff's view of what this merger would result in and why.
As you can see, people, you can see at home, she has her notes right in front of her. Whatever Doc is trying to sell you is trash.
That would
It's
be
lies.
a law violation. You may
But
have
the
seen
judge roundly
reports.
rejected it and said there weren't even serious questions. And now, having lost, you're spending even more taxpayer money on an appeal that you're even less likely to win because the appeals court is going to defer to the trial court's findings of fact in this very fact-intensive matter. So why are you spending
You know what
even more
he's talking about.
taxpayer resources pursuing this
Because
appeal?
when you lose, you stand up and go again. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up.
You know what?
And you're losing is not for you, Con.
If you fall down off a bike, you get back up and you get back on that damn bike, right?
That's
Our
exactly what they're
taxpayers'
trying to do.
money. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, on the taxpayer's dime,
I
exactly.
can say again, this was a staff recommendation. I can say at a general matter, staff always looks closely at an opinion and
That's
looks
right.
at whether there are certain
Stop it right
errors
there.
in
Stop
law
it
that
right
they
there.
believe are
Listen
worth.
what she said. Staff always looks closely at opinions. If you know, PlayStation fans' opinions are facts to us, okay? Okay, you know this. Opinions are facts, so she's right.
Those are in general the types of determinations that go into whether the FTC ends up appealing.
All right. That's what we got it there. But yeah. She failed
Bro.
pretty miserably, Gaz.
This is like you could literally put on a clip from Pornhub and like Mia Khalifa gets pounded by 3 guys and that would.
Oof.
Oof.
It's
indeed.
Sunday.
But for around
Monday,
3
Gaz.
hours, she just got roasted in those clips.
It's Sunday. Yeah, it's true.
You know, there was a couple of people that they were very kind to her, but for the most part, everybody had something negative to say. And I mean, she's 0-4 now in merger cases, so I don't know. It doesn't look good for her for sure.
It doesn't look good for the FTC generally. There's a lot of partisan politics in this, Republicans versus
Oh, a lot,
Democrats,
a
and all
lot.
of that. You guys are like they're intrinsically linked here, isn't the UK? I don't think so.
Well,
As far as the CMA is
that's the
concerned.
thing. You know, it kind of makes me laugh sometimes because you have a 2-party system here in America. That's it. Boom. You're either Democrat or Republican. You can be something else. You can be whatever you want here in America. However, the two-party system is the only party systems that work, that get elected. So basically, you see a lot of people that get mad at one side or the other all the time. You're either Democrat or you're a Republican. But when it comes to things like this, all of a sudden a Democrat will easily become a Republican just to make a big deal go through like this if they're an Xbox fanboy per se, or, you know, and it just makes me laugh. It's like, this happens all the time. That's why you have to look into the actual bills or policies being pushed, rather than just being a Democrat or Republican. Yeah, really look into what they're trying to sell you here before you vote.
That's why for me, I don't try to pretend like I'm smarter than I really am. I don't know a lot about a lot of stuff, so I just stick to the gaming aspect of it, right?
Yeah.
This looks like it was something bigger. When you think about Microsoft, they control a lot, so I could see why they would want to stop them from controlling even more, Microsoft as a whole. But if you're just talking about gaming, then that's where they messed up, because they didn't prove how it was going to hurt us as consumers, right? And that was the main basis. You could, if they could have proven how this was going to make Microsoft even more powerful, maybe talk about AI, virtual reality, whatever the case may be, more access to gamers. You know, they can watch everything we do, whatever. But it doesn't affect the gamer, and that's where I think they really messed up. They didn't show how this hurts us, because it doesn't hurt us, guys. I think Game Pass doesn't hurt anybody. It's an option. You don't have to subscribe to Game Pass. So it's like, what is the big deal? You know, that's the problem.
And the whole argument was predicated on the notion of the threat to PlayStation and Sony, and the FTC adopted that, and they were so bullish. Like, Lina Khan's got a 0-4 record for a reason. She literally said that FTC announced it didn't care if they lost cases. She certainly cares now, because she got grilled by Congress. She got grilled by the Judicial Committee here. And ultimately, Microsoft bore the brunt of a lot of that. But because it had a $70 billion deal on the table at a time where the regulators were being emboldened by the Biden administration. Problem is, Microsoft have got deep pockets as well, and they can influence, they lobby. They've got incredible lawyers who, even on the merits of the case, forget all the political lobbying and all of that, they destroyed the FTC. Everyone said that. If you heard the case, it was so one-sided in terms of the representation. From each
let me talk about that a bit, because I, as someone who didn't sit there and watch the hearing like that or anything, the bits and pieces I was getting from both sides was pretty hilarious, because I'm on Twitter and I see like fanboys on one side say, "Oh, Xbox just killed it, you know, Lina's dying," and then I look at the PlayStation side and I see people saying, "Oh, Lina killed him with that. AFTC's winning this argument easily." However, here's the differences that I saw. The Xbox guys had clips to back it up. The PlayStation guys didn't have any clips. They were just basically saying, "Oh yeah, well, take my word for it, Xbox is losing." And that's when I kind of thought, I was like, wait, something's different here. Oh, there's actual proof on this side and no real proof on the other. Doc, since you are a representative of PlayStation today, what do you have to say for yourself on that matter? Why didn't they have evidence to the contrary? Why couldn't they prove that Xbox is anti-competitive?
Well, they could prove, you just didn't want to listen.
That's it, huh?
That's the
what have you done to him? He was at least pretending to be green. You have corrupted him. So, Rock, your tentacles have reached so deep that the Xbox Showcase event, after the event, all Dog did was complain.
I'm my own man, guys. I'm my own man, guys. Listen, what I wanted to see from the Xbox Showcase, since you're going to bring that up, is a game that had a bow and arrow, quick time events, third person. That's what I wanted to see, and I didn't get it, guys.
I know a platform you can get.
Diverse games, like anybody wants to play diverse games. I'm going to play the same thing over and over again. Thank God for remix. Thank God for remix. I said it.
I hate Doc right now. But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Seriously, now that the deal is finally going to be closed here, Do you think we'll start to see these Activision Blizzard? When do you think we'll start to see the Activision and Blizzard games come to Game Pass? How long do you think that'll take?
That's the only thing that matters right there.
Because that's what I care about, right? As a consumer, I want that value, and GAAS is having a crappy internet day today for sure.
That's Microsoft's fault. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's Microsoft doing all that. They're coming after you, GAAS.
It'd be all right if he was on Sony servers.
Ryan's trying to take me out. What's going on?
Yes. So when do you think we'll start to see these Activision Blizzard games trickle into our Game Pass? I know we're all waiting for that.
Well, if you notice, actually, just today, I think today, a lot of the Call of Duty games are on sale on the Xbox store. So they're already they're trying to squeeze out of it before the impending Game Pass release.
Put
That's
them
what
on
it
sale
looks like.
because Xbox gamers don't buy games. Only Sony gamers buy $70 games. Okay?
So you're kind of right. I like to rent my games through Game Pass now.
You're not a real gamer. You're not a real gamer.
I'm not. I'm not. You know,
if you rent games, you're not a real gamer.
You have to own the physical game as well.
Yep.
So that's like 75% of Sony guys right there. They're pretty much going all digital now. Everybody is.
Did you get the special hammer? Did you get the Fisher Price hammer?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm not a real gamer. Yeah.
Not a real
Damn
gamer.
it.
Well, yeah, you need to play Frogo if you're a real gamer, man.
Oh, you got a
An
platinum?
apple slash.
Plat
Yeah.
Frogo?
Yeah,
Oh,
you have to get S rank. S rank on that. That's
You
how
know,
you become a true S
I
rank.
never heard of that game until your video. And I was like, Frogo, what's that? And then you
Neither
showed
did
it and
I
was
when
like,
I
wow.
looked at that list.
But no,
Fucking trash.
you know, I can't wait for those games to come in to Game Pass because all the Call of Duties that have come out in the last 5 years, I have not touched the single player. I haven't bought one, so I'll be able to go through those and play them.
As a PlayStation representative today, if those games are already on Xbox, why haven't you played them?
Because I don't buy them. I don't buy them, sir. I don't buy
your
them.
games.
I don't buy them.
You're
I'm not a
feeding
big.
to the pony narrative.
I'm not huge on COD. I'm not huge on COD. I haven't been in many years. Like
You're
back.
capping for games you don't even want to play because you could have been playing them already.
I do want to play them,
Yeah.
but I don't think the single player portions of these games, these 4 or 5 hour experiences, are worth the price tag they ask. That's why I didn't touch them.
I wouldn't buy it.
How about you,
I wouldn't
Gas?
buy
What about you? The games are already on Xbox.
Oh, he buys them. He buys those.
Who told you I don't play COD? I play COD all the time. I play with Strictly
Cut 'em off.
Gaming
Cut
and
'em
all
off.
the
Cut 'em off.
bros. Well, I haven't played in a while.
Cut them off. You're making my narrative feel.
Bro, I used to be a beast of Modern Warfare 2. I used to kill on that game. I had like 148 tactical nukes. Then I stopped counting. I was so good at that game, people would recognize me in the lobbies. I was such a troll in that game. I played all the Modern Warfares, all the campaigns, and all the multiplayer. So a decent amount of time. I prestige in like half a week on the latest one, and then actually decided to make a policy change not to devote time to multiplayer games, because if you're running a podcast and you want to talk about games, and that's what we do in our podcast, we talk about games.
Mm-hmm.
My value is completely diluted if I'm playing multiplayer games, and I'm a multiplayer head. I love multiplayer. It's a constant battle.
That's where we're different.
He said in his podcast they talk about games. Real PlayStation podcast, we talk about Xbox. How you like me now? How you like
True.
me now? That's why our podcasts are more entertaining because we talk about Xbox. Y'all talk about games. We talk about business, money, stocks, and Xbox.
Yeah, I mainly, I'm a big single player guy. I like single player experiences. That's why I do like a lot of Sony games. I do, and I say that all the time. And I upset some Xbox guys, but I do love their games, except for Horizon Forbidden for Boring West.
West.
I don't like that one.
Best fucking game this generation.
Yeah, no. Red Dead 2 shits all over it, in my opinion, but I digress.
Is it exclusive? Don't count. It don't count.
It don't count. I know. Well, let me ask you this, guys. What would you say to people out there
Yes,
that
You play the pony really well. You're paying the pony way too well, dog.
way too well, way too well?
Yes, I'm hitting all the pony points.
Okay. So, guys, what would you say to people out there who fear that Microsoft will corrupt these studios they're acquiring and make them churn out Game Pass fodder or something like that? What would you say to these people? What would you say to Doc right now?
Doc,
What have they done with Rare?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
have they done with Rare?
they just Sea of Thieves. And that's
That
it.
don't count. It's on PC.
Which is pretty huge. Sea of Thieves is
Doesn't count 'cause it's on PC.
despite the fact that I don't like Sea of Thieves, it's a massive game for a lot of
Yeah,
people.
but Rare does need to make something. For God's sake, it's been so long. They need to make something.
Yes, they do.
In terms of like this, look, we got. I mean, there's a big question mark hanging around the Xbox first-party stable and their ability to churn out quality. Now, if Starfield hits, expect one of two things. Well, actually, one thing. PlayStation guys will say Microsoft is not responsible for the quality of that game because it was already, because it's pre-development, despite the fact that Microsoft sent its engineers to help refine the game for over a year. That the game, Todd Howard and co have said this is the best quality game that they would ever produce. As a result of that, they've had untapped money, potential resources, internal teams help them out, and you still won't give Xbox the credit for it. You can suck my not you.
GAAS,
That's a
you
bit
need to
too violent.
understand. Redfall, Microsoft fault. Starfield, not Microsoft.
No.
Yeah. If something is bad and Microsoft has ownership, then it's their fault. But if it's good, no, it was already starting to be made pre-Microsoft ownership. So
exactly,
it's not theirs.
Exactly.
Yeah,
but that's the people that said that. And as soon as Redfall flopped, and I knew people would say, I was grateful for that reason as well. It was like, now you've put your position there. Rightfully so, because Microsoft were vicariously liable. But even though it was the studio's fault, whatever, Phil Spencer took the blame, but minor. That's still Xbox's fault. Starfield bangs is going to be great. If Forza bangs, it's going to be great. The narrative's going to shift. You had Hi-Fi Rush already bang, and they get the credit for it. Great. But this whole thing about, the quality will dwindle under Microsoft. I'm sorry, have you seen Overwatch 2, which is basically shelved half its shelved the story mode? So it was not even a 2 to begin with. It's not even a 1.5. It's such a piss take, that game. The reason why I boycotted Destiny 2 was because of recycled content. I bought Overwatch 2 on the notion that it would actually be good. It's the same freaking game. So Activision has been stuck for ages. Activision actually is a pretty shitty publisher. It has closed and shut down so many.
Tell me when it's my turn, Fonz.
Right.
Sorry. I was just going to say it's been terrible for a while, and there will still be massive issues with Activision post merger, but I want to see a light at the end of the tunnel. I want to see Blizzard. I want to see StarCraft. I want to see freaking Tony Hawk's come back. I want to see Banjo-Kazooie and
No,
Crash
stop
Bandicoot.
it. Stop it.
Crash.
Stop it.
I want to see Crash.
GAAS,
I want to see
GAAS,
Crash.
let me ask you a
Stop
question,
it.
GAAS. Let me ask
I
you
don't
a
want to
question,
see.
GAAS.
I don't want to see Crash. I don't want to see Banjo.
Why do I want to see Crash? Why?
Because it was a shit game. It was a shit game back then.
Crash
It's
was a shit game.
GAAS,
Are you?
Crash.
we're going to
Crash
use
is a good
statistics.
game.
GAAS, we're going to use statistics because that's what ponies do.
All
Listen to me. Name the last Xbox Studio game that scored above an 80 on Metacritic. I'll wait.
Hi-Fi Rush.
Before that one, I'll wait.
Before that one.
What was that, Horizon 5?
I'll wait. Before that one, I'll wait.
Oh, wow.
Before that, I don't know, Forza.
Above an 80 on Metacritic.
Microsoft Flight Simulator. I wouldn't really.
Before that, I'll wait.
Gears 5.
Before that, I'll wait.
How far back are we gonna go back to my birth?
By the way, on your point on Crash, if you want to play a game like, go play Temple Run on your phone.
Halo, yeah.
Who cares?
Let me finish my point. Hold on, Father. Let me finish my whole point is that if you take away the last 25 games that Microsoft produced that scored above an 85, they haven't done anything. They haven't done anything. That's my
It's so true. Point. It is so true. Look, Colt and Huggy, they did worked out the averages of.
Yeah, I remember when they did that, and they were pretty much on par with Sony.
They're pretty much on par, but the volume on PlayStation it dwarfed it.
Yeah.
And that's about to change.
What?
In my opinion.
Well, the volume, yeah, it's definitely going to change coming up soon. But what most are you?
Yeah.
So Doc, going to you. What do you have any concerns with this deal at all?
Of course I do. This is going to ruin gaming. Listen. I have insight from the man above that Jesus was going to come back, but now he's not because of this deal. Okay.
Wow.
Listen to me.
Wow.
Listen. This is what's going to happen. Okay. Call of Duty, which has been amazing, a 10 out of 10, the last 10 years, no flaws in those games at all. Great microtransactions that people actually want to pay for. Okay. Now are going to be in a subscription service where you're going to get access to the game for cheaper. Why? You should want to own your game. This is going to destroy the gaming industry. Okay. What's the whole point of having a controller with back paddles when you can't even play it right because you don't own the game? That's not really your rank. That's not really your rank. That's the server's rank. So you're gonna see. We've been shouting from the mountaintops as to how this was going to destroy gaming. You're gonna give Microsoft too much power, and all that's gonna happen is it's gonna be fodder. I don't even know what does fodder mean, but it's gonna be fodder game in Game Pass. Okay, because of this.
Wow. Okay, GAAS, do you see any issues that could arise from this merger?
The irony of that is Doc's rant actually is strangely reminiscent of Mooch's podcast and the Crossfire yesterday.
Wow. I did not get to check it out. So,
oh my god! If you wanted to see a panel of people who look like their bleach consists wholly of their diet consists wholly of drinking bleach, that was it. It was some of the most absolutely depressing. People were downing like full on, just out there, just depression, and just scaremongering to another degree. It's not going to do anything like that. You guys need to make up your mind. First, you say it's only today. I've got my video. Everyone's like, "Oh, so nothing changes." I'm like, "What the flip? You guys have been saying everything was going to die, everything was going to change, and I've got the clips." Now you're saying, oh, nothing changes because Call of Duty is going to be on 10 years for PlayStation. It was always the freaking offer, man. Like, what? Nothing is going to happen. You keep using the C word.
Consolidation.
Just in the C word. It's a freaking C word.
That's the problem, GAAS. Do you know what consolidation
Well, we're going to educate you, mother. You see, Game Pass gonna make things just lit.
Man. Demonetized with that one, sir.
Sorry.
Here's the thing, though. Like, for me, the only thing look, this for a consumer, for a gamer, seeing much more, AAA games coming into a subscription service, even at what is it now, $16 a month? It's a good value. Okay, it's a very good value, and I want to see more and more games.
You're paying $180 for just one game, Fonz.
No, I'm not. I've got a plethora of games. Now with the inclusion of Activision Blizzard, we get Diablo, we get all the CODs, we get, if you're into Overwatch, if you're on PC, you can play games like Starfield and all that. You can have some great franchises there in Game Pass.
You don't got Astro's Playroom, though. You don't got Astro's Playroom.
Don't have Astro's Playroom. I don't even have...
No Panda Punch.
Do we have Froggo? That's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm going to put some respect on Froggo, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to put some respect on that. So, I don't know. I just feel like this is just, I think people are putting up a lot of concern because a big corporation is coming in, taking a huge publishing arm, a big development. I get it in terms of, oh, wow, a big company, $1 trillion company is just getting much more massive and all that. But at the same time, if you look at the market leader right now, it's Sony. Sony is the market leader.
That's right.
These guys cry so
So this
Say it
is
again,
just going
Fonz.
to
Who's
boost.
the market leader,
So
Fonz?
this is not anti-competitive. This is just competition. This is
We're just
competition
fucking
for
wild right now.
Number
Sony.
one, who's the market leader? That's the only thing that matters. PlayStation gamers like me only care about how well Sony's doing.
I don't
not
know how
about our
long
games.
that's going to last, being number one with this much going into Game Pass.
think it's
and
gonna
We're
going
going
for
to keep
Xbox.
Sony number one because you know what we're going to do? We're going to go ahead and buy the remake and the remaster.
Yeah,
That's
oh
what we're
yeah, 100%. Let's, you know what, and we're gonna get into that right now. Let me get through some of these super chats. I've got a bunch to get through here, and I don't want to pass them up because I get yelled at, later on. You missed my super, and I hate missing supers. I apologize, people. Let's go with this one from Sith Lord. Oh, that was real massive, just coming out of nowhere.
That's what she said.
Thank you very much.
Pause.
Hey.
Oh man, that thing is massively huge.
So Colt said too. Anyways,
Why have you got that saved?
I don't know. Sith Lord said, "Hi Fonz, thanks for inviting the sauce. Love you guys.
That's it. Cover your face, Fonz.
Love
We
you
don't
guys
see
too.
that shit.
All right, here's Risk It for the Biscuit. Thank you very much for the $2.99 Australian, which is like $400 US. He says, Doc's video inspired me, had me dying. Good job, Doc.
Salute.
And again, Risk It for the Biscuit, celebrating his 6 months of membership. Thank you very much for the membership. I never ask people to join my memberships. Don't do any of that, but I do appreciate those of you that do. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's awesome. Shout out to the chat. Hit the like, fellas. This show's going to be a little messy. Yeah, it already is, but, it's great. Should be my kind of show. Fonz, let them loose. Yes, definitely letting them loose. For sure. I don't hold back people here. I don't censor, folks. Soy to Mangs, I believe. $2 super chat. He says, Doc is wearing a shirt. What the heck? Yeah, what's up?
Business.
Yeah, it's business today. No tank top today. No tank
I am
top.
representing the Sony players, and we care about viewers, we care about streams, we care about business. That's what we care about. We don't care about games like that. Okay, so
My business.
Danny Passion Official. Thank you very much, brother, with the $5 super. He says, stopping by to say hello from my vacation. The FTC laughing out loud, crying emoji, blah, blah, blah. The FTC laughing, crying, Jimmy is crying right now, he says. No, he's not. Well, maybe he did a little bit.
Jimmy's in bad spirits right now. We spoke to him, but he's okay. He's going to make it through, all right?
He's going to be all right. He's going to be all right.
Be all right, okay?
Yeah. We're going to be talking about Jim in a minute here. I've got a lot of news on him. Web Dave, have a great show, Fonz, GAAS, and Doc.
Shout out, Dave.
Doc Xbox, by the way, he said. Mark from the Just Gaming podcast, thank you very much. He says, political grandstanding, but they weren't wrong. It's a waste of taxpayer money. Exactly. Big waste of taxpayer money. Danny Passion Official, thank you very much from your vacation again. He says, FTC couldn't win Jimmy the case, so they signed today. Yes, we're going to talk about that.
They made Microsoft. You guys don't keep up with the new narrative? The new narrative that Sony PlayStation players are going with is that we made Microsoft give us the deal.
Okay. They made them do it. David Kirchhoff, thank you very much. $6 super chat. Or is that, what is that? Where is that from? I'm not sure. Anyways.
Euros.
It's Euro?
Roblox.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the euro. It's worth nothing, pretty much. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
It's worth more than $1.
Yes, I know. Our money shit. Why do some YouTubers think that? Yeah. Why do some YouTubers think that Microsoft can't close the deal without CMA approval? As I understand, they can. They can't close without CMA's approval, even if they were to bypass them. I think they could if they wanted to do that, right? But that would be a whole country where you're not sending your games to.
People keep saying that, but the whole precedent. Listen, we're not going to go into this. People, when they mention this and we give you the reasons why, they're like, well, this is an unprecedented case, so it will happen. The reason why people say it won't happen is it will set a horrendous precedent for Microsoft. no regulator they'll be at loggerheads with regulators forever because that will set a disgusting precedent. They don't need to do that now because all the indications are, you've heard it, CMA are sitting there entertaining, negotiating, or ADR, alternative dispute resolution. This litigation has been stalled, it's been stayed. They're going to try and fashion something out of it. Microsoft absolutely is in their best interest to go ahead and negotiate something. You don't close over the CMA. UK is just a primary region like that where it does business.
And I think they're going to do that, right? I mean, I don't think this is even a real talking point because I think the CMA, now that the FTC is lost, they're going to fold. They're going to fold.
They're going to they are. And CMA is going to say face.
They're going to block it.
No.
They're going to block it.
Oh, okay, Jimmy Jr. here. Mark
Jimmy Jr.
Just Gaming Podcast yet again. Thank you very much, Mark. He says, what the deal doesn't do is get new IP, which is Xbox's weak spot.
That's right.
Just getting more access to the same old. That's not true.
Right.
That is not
Xbox
true, Mark.
Is weak. That's right.
That's not true because they are talking. Blizzard has already talked about their new upcoming survival game, open world game or whatever they're making. So,
Mark, super chat again and just say that one more time. Xbox is weak. That's right. That's right.
Hargeet Chetty, my good friend, $10 super chat. Thank you very much, Hargeet. He says, consolidation, please. ABK is a consolidation of several publishers alone. Square Enix, anyone? Square Enix, anyone? The game industry has been consolidating for a while. This is normal. Something needed to change. No, he's 100% right. This is something
he's wrong. He's wrong, Fonz. Let me talk to Hargeet real quick. Listen.
He's your biggest fan.
When anybody does it, it's okay. But if Xbox does it, it's wrong. Do you know why?
No,
it's
why?
Xbox. Because it's Xbox, okay?
It's Xbox.
You don't understand. You don't see the vision. You don't see 10, 20 years from now what's going to happen to gaming because of this, Hargeet.
Actually,
it makes a lot of sense, right?
On other podcasts, the same thing was said on another podcast.
You know what? And that's fun. It's funny, but at the same time,
either, right? Because we don't have to.
It's kind of scary. It's kind of scary to me that people can just make a blanket statement against Xbox without giving any kind of proof or any kind of background, even any history to what they're trying to. Yeah. What man, again, I know a lot of people out there hate these big $1 trillion corporations, but without them, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we've got that we enjoy. It's ridiculous just to hate companies, to hate companies. And I'm not capping for anybody. I'm just telling you how it is. The facts. I'm giving you the freaking facts, guys. You would not be enjoying that microphone right there if not for some big company like Shure that makes those products for you.
His microphone
it's not
is
Microsoft.
from Sony. It's a Sony microphone he's got.
It's a Sony
I bet
microphone.
I didn't even know that.
What? Really? Shure's owned by Sony?
No. He just says that. Roland Castillo, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. He says, my daughter was born on 7/11, the same morning as the ABK deal went through. Double blessing and ponies were in shambles on Twitter. I couldn't stop smiling.
I'm glad it's
Roland,
not a couple of months later.
Congrats on the baby. But comparing your baby's birth to this Microsoft deal going through is, I don't know, man. But yeah, congrats.
Wait. Let me read that again. My daughter was born on 7/11, same morning as ABK deal went through. Double blessing, ponies in shambles. He couldn't stop smiling. Hey man, Roland's allowed to be happy.
Yeah, of course. Anybody is. But yeah, if I would have typed that out, my wife would have killed me.
If I typed that out and I made that. No, I'm not going to make that joke. I'll get sent to the Guantanamo Bay. And
you know what? He's one of those guys.
In the services. He's
very passionate. He's passionate about this industry. Passionate. It's not just a hobby, It's a lifestyle, brother. It's a lifestyle.
That's why Doc doesn't even look for veins when he injects. Look at him, bro.
Okay.
The shirt's plastic.
Yeah, dude, I know. He's popping out of that. Let's talk Jim Ryan, guys. Let's talk Jim Ryan. I understand that today.
The greatest of all time.
Jim Ryan, we can hear him in the background.
Best was, best ever will be.
I've got him on the line now. Jim.
Intensity,
Jim,
integrity.
are you there? Jim.
What?
Jim.
The
He's
disrespect.
I
The disrespect.
I got to let him go.
The
He's not
disrespect.
talking, folks.
The-
Anyways, Jim Ryan didn't walk. He ran to sign a deal today for the COD. Phil Spencer had put out a tweet on this morning, and it broke Twitter. And basically said, "We are pleased to announce that Microsoft and PlayStation have signed a binding agreement to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation following the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. We look forward to the future where players globally have more choice to play their favorite games." And boy, did that tweet blow up, and did the whole community blow up.
That's right. PlayStation 1 right there. That's right. PlayStation 1. That's right.
They won.
PlayStation 1. No, PlayStation 1. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened. Okay, so this is what happened. Phil woke up this morning, went to church, okay? He came back and said, how do I make this right? How do I make this better? He texted Jim. I know this from insiders, okay? Somebody with a high players score, let me know what's happening. He said, listen, Jim, can we talk? Can we please talk? Jim told him, hey, I'm busy, but around, give me like 30 minutes and we could go ahead and talk. Phil calls Jim up, says, hey, look, man, I'm trying to make this deal go through. What do you want? What do you want? Okay. Jim, the genius of Jim Ryan, he said, I want less games. I want less games. And Microsoft said, okay, let's do it. PlayStation 1. PlayStation gamers 1. We made Microsoft bend the knee and give us this deal. Let me tell you something. Xbox and Call of Duty needs PlayStation more than PlayStation needs Call of Duty. Okay?
Wait, hold up. Breaking. I got Jim back on the line. Jim, what do you have to say?
I'll take an Xbox.
Oh, he'll take an Xbox. Okay, thank you, Jim. Jim's going to take an Xbox, guys. Buy your Xboxes.
Is that the guy with the freaking glasses, that weird guy?
No, that's Jim Ryan. That's Jim Ryan. He composed himself. He called back.
I was not ready for that. I was not ready
look,
for that.
Basically, he signed this deal now, and the deal is worse than the original deal he was going to get. Apparently, now this is just for COD. That's it, just for COD. Back when we were hearing about this deal originally, Phil was willing to play ball and give him more than COD. Now,
why would we want more games? That makes no sense.
PlayStation's not going to get any more Diablos. They're not going to get this new Blizzard game coming out. What and everything else? I mean, pretty much, COD is it.
It's gonna be okay. This is what we wanted.
So
This is what we wanted.
If you can't stand, if you can't stand the show, Doc, I understand. If you need to leave,
Just shaking.
But no, seriously, GAAS, what do you think about that? That he now gets a worse deal than he could have had.
Absolutely. I mean, that's a big L. But the thing is, Jim Ryan doesn't seem to give a damn about all the other IPs like Crash. I thought PlayStation's legacy was Crash, yet your own CEO doesn't give a damn about that IP. You guys got so triggered because Aaron Greenberg did this with Crash next to him. But
gosh.
Jim Ryan didn't give a damn about your own mascot. What the hell, lad? That
Jim
means
Ryan
that
doesn't
all
play
they care
games.
Jim Ryan holds his controller like this, bruh. Like this. He can't, bro. The thing that they're fascinated with, the thing that they were so worried to lose is a first-person, primarily multiplayer game. And that says a lot about PlayStation and the state of PlayStation.
What does it
and
say?
where
What
its
does it say,
focus is
GAAS?
at.
What does it say, GAAS?
It says, if you like gas, you're going to take it in the ass.
Hey, whoa.
PlayStation. Sorry.
So not only did he sign this, this
You know
deal.
what? I'm sick and tired of this. We're not worried about this, Fonz. We got foam stars coming, okay?
Oh, that's right.
We got foam stars coming. What y'all
That's
got?
right.
We got foam stars, okay?
Man, Foam Stars looks
Game of the year.
Yeah, looks amazing. I'm definitely not buying that one. But no, look, he not only signed that, but we also got news this week that Jim Ryan, or PlayStation, decided to remaster The Last of Us 2.
That's what we do, baby. We remaster good games. Play them again.
A title that's not even 5 years old. You're going to remaster, and looks and plays great, mind you, on the PlayStation 5 as is. They're going to remaster.
It's going to have different trophies, Fonz. That's what you don't understand. They're going to put different trophies in it for us to earn. Okay, we're going to get to play the game again and earn different trophies.
That's the incentive they've got for you then.
Yes, there's
trophies.
20 cats that you have to pet in this new one. Okay, you
didn't
read about it?
No,
you get to pet 20 cat trophy. Yeah, you don't know nothing about that. Okay,
oh man,
real gamers know.
So. Real gamers know, he says. Yeah, hey, look, I did not know about that. I stand corrected. Maybe this is a great thing for petting 20 cats in a game. I don't know, but the fact remains.
What a waste.
Sony.
How old is The Last of Us 2? Is pretty old, isn't it?
It's not even 5 years old. It's The Last of Us 2.
Old is relative. Old is relative, Fonz. Old is relative. Okay?
Yeah, that's something J-Tech would say for sure. Anyways.
I got to take off my shirt now. I can't be compared to that dude.
Anyways.
Now we done. I'm out of character now. I can't do that. I can't do that.
Anyways.
J-Tech,
oh man!
Why would you do that to me?
now he's like, I'm done. I'm not representing that group anymore. I'm done. I'm done.
It's over for Sony. Okay, this done. They're terrified. They got nothing.
They
literally have nothing.
Okay, so here's.
Can y'all still hear me? Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah. Go for it. Go.
Listen. This is the truth. I can't. He called me Jay. I try not to break character. He called me Jay.
I didn't call you Jay. I didn't call you Jay.
He called you J-Tech, man.
Oh
my God. You go to jail.
My God. I said that's something J-Tech would say.
So now let me answer all the questions that you asked truthfully. This does nothing to hurt the industry. It's nothing but good for gamers. PlayStation gamers cannot explain at all without a single fact as to why this hurts anybody. They can't explain it. This is what it does hurt, though. It hurts Sony. Sony needs to figure out a way how to subsidize money to make those overpaced AAA games that they keep making. They don't make them off of their exclusives. That's the biggest lie. There's only one gaming company out right now that actually makes money off of their exclusives, and that's Nintendo. And the way they could do that is because they sell you cheap hardware. Nintendo can sell cardboard boxes. You realize that, right? Sony cannot do that.
Yeah.
Sony can't do that. Now they're terrified because they wanted Microsoft to compete, right? And Microsoft said, yo, we're going to compete, but not the way that you want us to compete. They went a different route. Microsoft has their fingers in everything. In everything. And you know what's so funny? There's people out there that try to tell you that Xbox is becoming a third-party publisher. If Sony has games on the PC, doesn't that make them a third-party publisher as well? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're terrified. What is the point of owning a PlayStation? What's the point of owning a PlayStation? Every single PlayStation game will be on PC. So that narrative that they used to have as far as, oh, you don't need an Xbox, you need a PC. Everyone just needs a PC. But Microsoft is the company that's okay with it and is going to make money off of it regardless. Going to make money off of it regardless.
Fact.
Damn, you call me J-Tech. God damn.
Nah. Never. I would not put that on anybody, but you know, that is something he would say. Anyways, so here's the thing. Let me get to some of these super chats before they disappear. Got a $5 super chat from 80s Gamer and Beyond. Thank you very much. He doesn't say anything, but that's 80s Gamer from Beyond. Hargeet Chani, another super chat. Thank you, brother. He says, Jim Ryan, the GOAT at converting PlayStation from sad dad walking simulator games to GAAS. You will play fair games and like it. The PlayStation Showcase was fire, he says. Yes. Here's another one from 80s Gamer and Beyond. This time he says, Sony brought out the bully out of Microsoft. Stop poking the bear, little boys at Sony.
There's truth to that statement.
There's of course some truth to that. Of course.
Absolutely.
Hargeet Chani, thank you very much. He celebrates 20 months of membership. I appreciate you, Hargeet. He says The Last of Us 2 didn't sell well as it should have. How do we fix this? Oh, we remaster and sell the game again. Genius. Yeah. See, and that's the problem I have. Why does Sony... They have so many games out there that they could remaster from the PlayStation 3 era, especially, but they don't do it. That instead they do all these recent games and stuff that they're like, hey, The Last of Us or Horizon's a great game. Let's remaster. It's like they don't need remasters. Even The Last of Us 1, we had the remaster and then they did a remake. And I'm like, why did you remake after you remastered it and it was good enough? Like it still holds up. Even the original holds up.
Nobody can answer that question, Fonz. That's the problem. But the weird thing is that the games come out and people buy them. Now
they sell.
The whole thing was that they did it because the TV show was coming out and that's why they did it. But it's like I don't know, man. I used to be a huge PlayStation fan, and I thought that those games were like the end all be all until I got exposed to a variety of different games, and now I see like I do value gameplay more than I value story, graphics, and all that other stuff. Because at some point you're just I hate to say it, you are literally watching an interactive movie. You know what I mean? And it's like
sounds like you're describing Final Fantasy 16, sir.
Yes, it does.
Is that what that's like?
Oh, yes. I'm playing it right now.
The combat does open up. It's very basic.
The combat is okay. It's fun enough. It's like GAAS said, it's a button masher. Honestly,
yeah. You don't need any skill.
You can sit there and just mash buttons, and you can beat shit. It's pretty easy.
That's without the accessibility options.
Yeah, I'm not using the accessibility stuff at all. And people will call me out. I want to see your screen. I'll show it to you. I don't care. My point is,
you don't need to. Even the people who played it know it's easy.
But it's just they've taken all the RPG elements out of the game pretty much, and it's just basically a movie that you interact with sometimes. That's it.
It's just we have to understand and accept that there's two different types of gamers out there. There are people that'll play this is what I say about Spider-Man. Spider-Man boss fight are like Simon Says. And you can be mad at me all you want, but if you're in a boss fight in Spider-Man, it's press X now, press triangle now.
Yeah, I hate that.
You know what I mean? So it's a Simon Says game, right? And as beautiful as Spider-Man is, and it's awesome to swing around New York City and everything like that, but come on, man. At some point, we need the gameplay. So people love to make fun of Halo Infinite, right? And I love Halo Infinite. The grapple hook in Halo Infinite, you could grapple everything. There's nothing that you cannot not grapple, that you can't not interact.
You can't do that in Horizon.
You cannot. You can only grapple specific vents. Like, what are we doing? And they're yellow. If a vent is gray, you can't grapple it. Like, it makes this is the problem with the Sony narrative and the Sony gamer. They really believe that their games are better just because they look better and just because they're paying a premium dollar. That's the problem. Sony has tricked them into believing, hey, I'm going to charge you this amount of money. You're going to pay full price. Our games are too good to be in the subscription service. And if Sony only put their games day and date in the subscription service, then we would have a real talk to have right now. Because at least then we have something equal, you know?
Let me stop you there, though, because when it comes to Sony games in general, I know what you're saying. They follow a certain template and everything. But at the end of the day, a lot of people love those games, those types of games. I myself love a lot of their games. Ghost of Tsushima, in my opinion, amazing game, fun as hell, great. It looks good. It's got a good, decent story and everything. Gameplay's fun. The Last of Us, the original Last of Us, loved it. Loved that game. Even the gameplay in The Last of Us 2 was amazing, really good. Story sucked, but that aside, it was a good game overall. I love their template. I do like their games. I wish Microsoft would make at least one on their side, just like, Cognito always says. I want them to do the same, to make a game like that and have their own IP. But to say that, to basically lump all those games and just basically say that, hey, they're all the same over there, they've got them fooled and all this stuff, it's subjective. Like, we all like different things. I may like all those types of games. You may like Halo. And or COD and multiplayer games. It's just we're all different in that respect.
But Fonz, you see, you were just honest right now. You didn't even notice how honest you were. You said, "I like that template." Do you know how many Sony gamers won't admit that?
Oh,
do you know how many won't admit that? That it is the same template over and over again.
That's crazy to me that they don't. That's crazy.
Yeah, that every game has a bow and arrow and a grapple hook. People try to make an excuse as to why Kratos can't jump in God of War because he's older. I had somebody tell me it's because he's older. I'm like, that's why he can't jump. He's the God of War. What do you mean? People try to argue that God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok are better than God of War 1, 2, and 3. To me, that's not subjective. If you play God of War 1, 2, and 3, those are way better gameplay games than they are the other games. But again, the template is fine if you can admit that it's a template, and that's why Fonz, I respect you. You just said it. You like that template, which means that for you, a remaster, you might actually look at it and buy it.
No. If it's a recent game remastered, I won't even look its way. I don't care.
Okay. What about Zero Dawn? What if they remaster Zero Dawn?
No, nope. It's not for me. Here's the thing. Even if they remastered Ghost of Tsushima, I wouldn't buy it. It's a stupid purchase. If they gave it to me and said, here it is, remade or whatever, and they only charge $10, which Sony's not going to do. It's not going to happen. Not a remake.
What if they remastered it and put it into service?
No, that remaster doesn't entice me to a service like that. What entices me is day and date AAA gaming. That's what entices me to Game Pass. That is what's not there in Sony's premium service. And that is something that they're going to need to work on. I mean, they can say all they want and, say that it's not going to make them money and all this stuff, that it's not, their games would be pretty much watered down, or it would hurt the value of their games if they put them in their day and date. They can say that all they want. But I see millions of gamers already subscribed to their premium service, and I see millions more subscribing to that service. If they were to do that, I myself would jump day one. I'd be there.
I agree.
I think they're crazy for looking at it that way. And I think the fan base just stating, regurgitating basically what Jim and company is saying about that situation is just that. They're just regurgitating what they're saying. They're not looking at the overall, business model that Microsoft has, and seeing the CEO himself, Phil Spencer, come out and say, yeah, hey, guess what? We are making money with Game Pass. They don't care. They've got their ears closed, their eyes shut, and they're like, I'm not hearing or seeing any of that. Phil's lying. They're not making any money. It's like, why would you say that if the CEO is stating so?
Not only that, Fonz, why would you care as a gamer?
Yeah, thank you.
Why would
Perfectly said.
Because that goalpost has moved to Game Pass is not profitable, to Game Pass is only sustainable, to Game Pass makes revenue not profit. I've heard it all, and it's like, why do you care? Like, what's gonna happen when Game Pass reaches a price that's too high? Then I won't pay for it. That's
exactly. Yeah. That's the day I stop. If it's too high,
right?
That's with anything. If the value is no longer met there for you,
thank you.
Then you just stop. You shut it down. Same thing happened with me and Netflix. The value was no longer there. I shut it the F down. Like, I'm not going to sit there and pay you money for something that I'm not using.
This is where a subscription service does become a problem, when it's the only option, right? So let's say if you own the Xbox, the only way to play the games was to subscribe, then I could see that being as a problem. But that's not you could buy the games if you wish. It's not like Amazon Luna where you have to subscribe to the service to play the games, right? So that's the biggest difference. So the doom and gloom of subscription service, that went away once Sony amped up their subscription service. It's almost like every single talking point that a Sony fanboy has is being demolished by the own things that PlayStation is doing. And now the latest thing is that they said that subscription services was going to diminish the quality of games. What I'm starting to see is that these big budget games, that's what's diminishing the value of gaming, because they can't take chances. They have to do the same template. They have to do they gotta make money. They gotta use the same. If they know it worked before, they gotta do it again. To the point that it makes sense to remaster. Come on, man. And I just realized that recently. I was like, wait a minute. No, the problem is the $70 games, because they gotta recoup that money. They got to recoup that money. How are we going to recoup that money?
He's not lying.
What's the formula that works? Bro, I'm not lying.
And this is the reason why remakes and remasters are happening over and over on Sony's side. This is one of the reasons, because they can't take
Yep.
chances on innovation, like trying
Thank
to
you.
push forward. That's why you get a lot of AA games. They may not look as nice as AAA games or whatever, but they push innovation all the time. They're constantly making some creative little games, and sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. A
Right.
big AAA developer can't afford to make those kind of sacrifices.
Right.
They can't do that. That makes
Look at
a ton of sense.
Even
Doc.
Capcom, look what
Doc.
Capcom just did. Capcom dropped Street Fighter, which they know is a banger, right? And then they're like, you know what? This little dinosaur shooting game, let's try it out. We're gonna go ahead and throw it on Game Pass. Whether you like Exo Primal or not, I didn't like it. But it's a chance for Capcom to try something. Throw it out there. Let's try. Let's see how many people engage, and then they could go back and be like, okay, this makes sense, or no, that doesn't make sense. But man, you'll never see Insomniac making something like that. They can't afford it. So what do? Spider-Man 2 now, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a safe bet. Spider-Man 2, that's safe. Tell me that's not a safe bet.
Yeah, no, it's 100%
It's already a fan base already there, right? So you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah.
I don't know, man. So
100%.
that really hurts. That really hurts me as a gamer, because I do want to see. I do believe that Sony has a lot of talent. It's just they're not using it
They
right
do.
now because they can't afford to. So the remasters and the remakes actually make sense from that perspective. You know what I mean? So
Man, no, you
I-
nailed it.
I hope, yeah, you did. But I hope that problem is. I mean, Sony always hold their hearts close to their chest. The showcase event really deflated a lot of PlayStation, and I was actually genuinely excited to see Wolverine. I wanted to see what Sucker Punch
me
were
too.
up to. And we didn't get to see that. So next year they have to really bring it, and they're going to feel the pressure. And they're so far ahead that this deal should not make you scared. And you're getting COD for 10 years. If COD was getting removed, then I would understand all the fake consolidation tiers. All these guys, literally, they're capping, using the C word for it's absolute bullshit, man. Because ultimately, you should be grateful that, there's some kind of shock to the system that PlayStation has to pull its finger out, has to use Bungie that it acquired to try and gear up to build an IP that can fill the gap if in 10 years, for whatever reason, Microsoft doesn't renegotiate this Call of Duty deal, or just it's doubling down on GAAS, is going to have a few L's, but just focus on the quality. I think the big warning shots was Last of Us Factions. That didn't hit the quality mark that Bungie said that this is weak. And those are lessons it's going to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are lessons it's going to learn. And this will add more pressure. PlayStation, let's deliver. Let's get weird. Let's get our Ape Escapes and all those kind of games that we were known for.
Exactly.
Jack and Daxter. Like
they got franchises, right? That's what I was just going to bring up. The fact that, if you don't want to take a chance with something new, why don't you bring back something old?
Right.
And just, put a new coat of paint on it, make it, look better, add new mechanics. You have so much in your arsenal from back in the day that you can bring back. SOCOM, you can bring back, like you said, Jack and Daxter. You can bring back so many franchises.
Bring back Infamous.
Oh, you're making loads of Horizon games. Like, do Killzone well. You want to do a first-person shooter? You don't believe? Bring it back. Bring SOCOM back. Don't make three other Horizon games.
Bobby Hawk in the chat said.
You know what we sound like right now?
What?
When I first started doing this, I remember a lot of Sony fans talking to me about how they wanted Microsoft to do better, and they told me about the golden age of Microsoft and how they wanted this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We sound the same way right now. The difference is didn't realize they weren't being genuine. They really didn't want Microsoft to do better, because no matter what Microsoft did that was better, it was always critiqued. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's like, come on, man.
There's a lot of haters.
We will play the games. Me and you bought Final Fantasy. We will buy all these games. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will, because we're fans.
There's a lot of people that hate the other side. If they're team green, team blue, they automatically hate the other side. I don't hate anybody in this game. I'm here for the games. I want to play good games. If it's on PlayStation, I'll be there. If it's on Microsoft's Xbox, I'll be there. That's just how it is. And I think a lot of people in my chat are the same way, to be honest. I think they just want good games too. And they get tired of the same bullshit. And, you know, a lot of Xbox guys are really pissed off, or have been in the past, with Microsoft, and took them to task on Twitter, on social media. And, you know, I was right there with them. As a gamer, these companies do need to do better. Now, the tables are turning a bit. Whereas Microsoft has got so much more going for them. They've got a lot of new IPs in the works now, and they've got so many studios that are going to deliver on stuff like that. What is Sony doing? All we know right now is that, yes, Wolverine is in the works. But again, that's a safe bet for Insomniac. Think about it.
Yep.
It's a big
Of
character
course.
that
Safe.
everybody would like to play, a new Wolverine game. That's a total safe bet.
You know what's a gamble?
And I'm not saying that's a bad thing necessarily, because it's a new franchise. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuff, get new IPs like that. Go after new things, new characters from movies or whatever. You know, there's lots of safe bets you can do out there that doesn't need to require you to go back to an old game, or, a 5-year-old game, and remaster it. Like, you don't need to do that. You can get other games going out, putting other games out, and just do so much better.
This is how Sony can really win. Sony can do their safe bet, but also from time to time throw in a Hi-Fi Rush.
Mm-hmm.
Throw in something that's just, oh snap! What is? I would have never played Hi-Fi Rush. That is not a game that I would have even looked at all.
Same.
I wouldn't even look a rhythm game. What? No, I'm not looking at it.
Yeah.
Shadow drops it. It's already on Game Pass. Go ahead, try it. Sure, why not? Ended up beating the game.
It's decent. Yeah, it's a decent
game.
And
I had fun. And that's another thing too. Everyone wants to compare AAA, all this other stuff. I have never in my life turned on a game and been like, is this a AAA game or a AA game? Never once in my life. I just play the game and see if I like it, right? It's regardless of what it is. But
you're a better man than me, because I ask myself that sometimes when I turn on the game. I'm like,
do you really?
Yeah, I'm kind of a graphics whore in that regard sometimes. It depends, and that case in point, that's why you can see I like a lot of Sony games, right? Because
that makes sense.
Really good. But gameplay is king still. For me, it's gameplay, story, then graphics. But
shout out to 423 people watching. Hit the like button.
But
I
definitely am not the hugest fans of indies, but I will play an indie game, and sometimes they shock me to the point where damn, that's my game of the year right there. It blows my mind. Like Psychonauts 2, the year it came out, I thought was unbelievably great.
That's good. That's a really good game.
That game was amazing.
So, Fonz, let me ask you something. You say graphics. What about performance? Do you care about performance?
Yes, 100%. And I care about, and I do care. I do care about performance, and that is why eventually I will be going to PC. I mean, Xbox is PC as well, so eventually I will be.
Where's my Redfall patch?
You don't want to play that shit yet. 60 or 120 or 900 FPS.
Oh, it's bad regardless. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not
it's terrible.
I tried to play the game, and it's not the 30 frames that does it. It's just
Everything
not
else.
good. It's just not good
It's
for me. I'm not going to speak for other people. I've had people tell me they really enjoyed it, but I'm telling you, for me, I tried to play it, and I like open world games. I like the Far Cry series. This was definitely no Far Cry.
All right, we're gonna get messy.
2 generations old.
We're gonna get messy right now. So listen, we've already established Sony's a non-contender right now when it comes to gaming. Forget them.
Oh,
let's talk about Xbox. Okay, is Starfield at 30 frames per second on the Series X a problem?
Yes.
No, because it can't handle 60 frames on the Series X.
GAAS, go ahead, please.
Yes and no. No. Yes, because the Series X was touted as this all-powerful, incredible eat monsters for breakfast console, and it really has fallen on its face doing that.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
But yes, because this controller is nice, and I like Starfield. No, but yes, because look, I understand what they wanted. Look, Todd Howard didn't want to compromise the visual integrity of this game and the global illumination that they use. I think that's fundamentally
And the engine
a
they
valid
use.
reason here. It's still an L for Xbox because of the Series X power narrative, but you take away the global illumination, the way trust me, I spent hours scrubbing through Starfield for my video, and the best parts of the game, even when I first saw it, when we were saying it to Aces, the lighting looks, that's what looks current
better.
gen. That's what elevates it. Otherwise, I don't think the game actually looks that great. Big open world.
How dare you?
No, it wouldn't without the lighting. I think the lighting, well, maybe some of the texture work, okay, but the lighting fills up a lot of what is really an ancient engine. The lighting is the key component there. So I think in that case, I understand that. Because we take away the lighting, to me, it would probably look really fugly, or maybe possible.
No, the lighting does a lot. You're right, but I
really
think
does.
for a
So
Bethesda
go check
game,
it out, play it now.
Yeah, but
screen.
for a Bethesda game, it looks really good. Really,
it looks beautiful to me because of the global illumination.
And
if you take that
you
away,
have to take into account, the developers, their engine they use, and everything, and the stuff that the details in their worlds that they put in to these games. The Xbox Series X, unfortunately, you're right. It's an L in that they did push this as being a monster. We're going to get 120 frames on a lot of games and all this stuff. That didn't come to fruition, but at the end of the day,
if the game with Redfall, that's where
that's a bit different, right? That's an ugly situation because if you look at Redfall, that game should have a 60 frames mode. There's no excuse.
That should be running 120.
Other than the fact, though, GAAS, could it be that the Series S is holding that back?
That could be potentially an issue. That could be a potential. Look,
because that opens up a whole new conversation. Because in my opinion, I've changed my narrative in that I think. Yeah.
Let me say something to the chat. Chat. This is the type of talk that you will never see on a PlayStation podcast. You'll never see PlayStation gamers freaking coming at Sony for stuff like that. That's why when you listen to Xbox podcasts, they're the realest you can listen to. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the S.
Well, here's the thing. I've changed my stance on the NES, the S. I used to think that, it was a brilliant move in that if they, brought this out, it's a cheaper console and it's pretty good. It's above the 1X. Yeah, it's fine. You're going to sell millions of them. That's great.
Right.
But you've got that parity clause in there, and it's got to be, the games have to be the same on the X and the S. I mean, if one has 60 frames, the other one's got to have 60 frames.
We've got Baldur's Gate. The developers, because of that parity clause that you just mentioned,
they've mentioned
they can't, and split screen, they'll struggle with the Series S. And you find they'll get it later on. But the problem is people think, oh, no, the power and it's still got a new CPU. It's not that. Not all devs have the same. They have finite resources. They're going to be stuck with another SKU. This is the negative I'm talking about, the Series S. I still think it's a masterstroke in many ways. But I think it may potentially come to burn Xbox in the long term.
Well, you got to think, is it going to be something that's viable 4 years from now?
But maybe, but thing is,
2 years from now, hell.
But because as soon as developers get, and we've seen this with technology, as they get acquainted with the hardware, you should see things, all the difficulties, hopefully get ironed out. It's not static. Every developer is different. What is happening with the tools? Are the development kits evolving to a certain level? Because Microsoft took a risk for some reason to move to the GDK. So will that improve? Will the developers get acclimatized and understand the tech, third parties in particular, in a way that they can then leverage the power of the Series S? I don't know the answer to that question. There is a question mark hanging over the Series S. Will that be a problem for Xbox? Time will tell.
I have no idea.
I'm not going to definitively say yes or no.
No.
Because right now it looks like this. But
I'm not going to say that I definitively say that the Series S was a big mistake or anything, but I'm leaning that way only because I'm seeing certain developers like Larian Studios come out and just basically say that they're having some issues with trying to get that to 60 frames their game on the Series S. So it's going to be a while, but they're at least not saying that it's not going to happen. Now, that brings me to another thing about the Series S. Now, it seems like it's going to take time for these developers to really get things running right on the Series S. It's going to take more time on that console than it does on the Series X because of the more power.
We're 3 years in.
Yeah, I know, but so each development team has to focus more on that Series S. And so that's where a problem could arise. Like, it's going to take some time for Larian Studios to get it right. It's obviously taking Bethesda some time to get Redfall right.
This is why,
and we don't know if it's for the Series S. That's just my speculation.
So this will be my speculation. This is why I think the Series S is a problem for X owners. I believe, again, I could be totally wrong. I believe that games are made for the Series S and then just thrown on the X and having the X just brute power through it and go from there. And that's why we're seeing a lot of games that are developed for the PS5 and supposedly developed for the Series S and X, and on the PS5 it's still beating in performance and stuff like that by a few frames here and there, because it's the X is playing the S version just at brute force and it's just brute forcing through it, and developers are like, whatever, it is what it is. There's more S's out there right now than X's as well, so the S is the main console. There's 2 SKUs of the S right now, right? Because now they're gonna have the 1 terabyte S. Microsoft has been pretty clear that the Series S is their main console. And if all else fails, I do believe that Microsoft is going to be okay with you playing their games on the cloud if the S can't run a game. Like you said, 4 or 5 years from now, if someone's owning an S, they'll just have to play those games on the cloud and then just go from there. But it's going to be interesting. Time will tell for sure, but until here's the problem. The burden is not on anyone in the chat or anyone on the panel right now. The burden is on Microsoft to prove us wrong that the Xbox is capable of producing amazing, beautiful looking games that run.
You know what? I think that there's an easy way to fix this, right? You just get rid of the parity.
Facts.
Don't do that. That's bad. That's bad.
Well, here's the thing. It's bad for who?
Though, guys.
It's bad for who?
It's bad for Series S owners, man. They get freaking fully.
Oh, wait. Hold up, guys. They're paying half the price for their console, and here's the thing.
No one told them that they're going to get the features of the.
Here's the thing. No, Gaz. If you get a PC and your PC's not able to run 60 frames on a game or over, you buy a more hardware for that PC, better hardware.
That's a fat L.
Here's the thing.
Series S does that.
Here's the thing.
Fat L. This is not PC.
If you can't force 60 frames onto the Series S and you can on the Series X, why should you take away from the Series X owners?
That's Microsoft's fucking problem. They build these 2 SKUs.
FPS is not parity, though. There's already games on the Series S that run at 30 that run at 60 on the X. So that's not part of the parity. That's not part of the parity. So we're
talking about feature parity. You take a split screen, you're going to take away this game mode.
Right.
No, I'm not talking about game modes. I'm literally talking about when it comes to frames.
Yeah, that's already a thing.
But the frames are doing that already.
Oh, they're already doing that? Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
There's games that only run at 30 on the S. And
I'm talking about feature parity, like content parity. Like take away split screen.
Right.
Can't do that.
I'll even say it for split screen. I would even say for split screen, bro. I would go that far.
Split screen's a bit weird because hardly anyone plays split screen. That's the only thing.
Exactly, but I don't know, dude. The thing that irks me about this situation is that you're basically having to omit things for games for the Series X owners, for the premium buyers and users, because of all the other users that bought a cheaper console. And so therein lies my issue with the whole situation, and that's why I'm leaning towards the Series S being a mistake, because look, we're in this position where we're having to pick and choose features and omit features from either console.
We're not there yet, but if that comes, that is a problem. And if Microsoft removes that feature of content parity clause, it's a big L. And then for me, the Series S was it really is prioritizing money and getting people into the environment more than the Series X, the thing that you use to market the current gen power. You're never going to be held back on power. Eat monsters for breakfast. All that became bullshit. One or the other seems to be going.
Yeah, but you're saying it's not happening.
The last time I saw a Series X,
it might happen. Well,
it is happening.
Yeah,
because Larian Studios is stating that they are not going to cut out. Okay, but you say that's one developer. But what if some other developer comes out and says, "Yeah, we can port our games to the Series X, but we can't do it for the S."
I think Doc is right. I think Doc, what you alluded to is very good, and the way you said it actually made me think. You're absolutely spot on. There are more Series S's out in the wild. Where if the developers are seeing it as Series S first and then brute force it and get it to run on the Series X, that would explain a lot of why the Series X is being left in the lurch, combined with the fact that the PlayStation 5 has way more consoles out in the wild. So they'll prioritize that first, then they'll go to the Series S, and you've turned into Fonz.
Oh, we got Colt.
Eastwood is in the
got somebody knocking in. I had Colt come in because I know GAAS, you're gonna have to leave soon. I know you're pressed for time. So
I'm sorry, Colt. I was gonna say I was trying to leave in 3 minutes, but let me spend a little bit of time, Colt, and then have to cut.
Yeah, no problem. Now I'll move Colt down.
Colt, very quickly. Your new co-host Doc is here. Shout out to
What up, Colt? What up?
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man.
Colt Eastwood, ladies and gentlemen, joining GTL because
Colt, we were talking about this, right?
The Series S, and the parity situation.
What do you think about the situation?
I was listening. You guys are wrong.
Okay, what do you think?
Okay, what do you think?
The Series S is an RDNA 2 current console. So Fonz was right. The devs have to spend way more time than they should to get games to run on it. And there's no parity for performance. So if a game runs at 30 and it runs at 60 on the Series X, but it can only run at 30 on the S, you bought a $300 console. That's what you get. So something like split screen, I don't know. The most I've heard about that is a lot of developers or experts have said they should be able to get that to work, but for some reason, the devs behind Baldur's Gate are taking a long time to get that working. We're going to go help them. You know, that's how it is. And GAAS, you're right. Like, not very many, almost no one plays split screen. I think they should have just said, oh, well. But it is kind of a feature that people can play the game. So that's a weird thing. But the Series S, it should be able to run modern games just fine. I mean, you're running the Starfield minimum specs that were supposedly out there. We're calling for a PC GPU and CPU that are like 10 years old. So I think it doesn't make sense.
I think the worst that we're going to get from this is developers like Larian Studios who are not willing to budge on not putting their game out at 60 frames. And possibly not getting the game because they can't do it for both consoles. You know what I'm saying? And this is nothing that Microsoft is telling them, hey, you got to get it on 60 on our console, but it's their internal, priority. They want it at 60 and they're not going to put it out unless it gets to 60. So you have a chance.
That's a good point.
You have a chance of games just not coming to Xbox because of the Series S.
Gents, is it okay if I just quickly duck out? I've got
yeah. No problem, man. No problem. Hey, tell everybody where they can find you, guys. Thank you for showing up at all, brother. I appreciate you. That's why I tagged in Colt.
Thank you so much. And chat, thank you so much. Septic Source is my personal channel. Game On Daily is the main source. You're going to have a big source video. Shout out to King Thrash, who's offered himself as a sacrificial lamb for that one. But Septic Source, I've got a video coming out in a few hours about this whole thing. So just got to do it now. And I will see you very, very shortly. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Smash the like button.
Lots of love, guys. Appreciate you.
Dog is a pony. Thank you.
Later, guys. Now I just got to come over here, bring Colt down. Voila. There. Now we got to.
Oh, you got to change his name. You got him as GAAS.
Oh, no, that's easy.
I like that.
Done. All
there
right.
you go.
I love that.
Welcome. See, I can get things done on the fly. My own producer, people. Got to do the show.
I do that too, and I'm like,
that's fun. It's real fun. Anyway,
how you been, bro? How are you enjoying this W that people just can't seem to swallow?
Oh my goodness! Let me tell you, I was gonna do the whole show representing the PlayStation side, but then Fonz called me J-Tech, and I couldn't anymore. I had to stop it. I had to stop it.
I didn't call him J-Tech, but you know.
Yeah. So if you see the beginning of the stream, you'll be able to see it. It's hilarious. But no, this is the thing for me. I don't understand why where all the grief is coming from, and no one has been able to explain to me why they're upset that this deal is going to go through, or how this consolidation is going to hurt me as a gamer. People talk about it's going to hurt the industry and all this stuff. How is it going to affect me? So, Colt, I know you've been doing this for a while. Please explain to me why this is bad for me. Why is this bad for me as an Xbox gamer?
Oh, as an Xbox fan? Why is the ABK deal bad for you?
Yes, why is it bad for me that Microsoft bought them?
Shoot, I mean, I have no idea how in the world it could be bad for you. You get access to their games cheaper on they're going to be on Game Pass. I can't think of how. The better question would be for you to ask me how could it be bad for PlayStation, because that's the real thing that they're upset about. Because I've told people that the majority of the games that ABK have would remain the status quo, would remain on PlayStation. But today we learned that this contract that Jim Ryan signed, whoever it was, we like to say it's Jim that signed it because it makes it more interesting, more fun for us.
He ran to sign it. By the way, he did join my show earlier, Colt. You weren't here for that. Yeah.
I'll go back.
He called in. No, he called in. This is what he had to say because I record everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I'll take an Xbox.
He'll take an Xbox now. Yeah.
So going back, I was saying that most games would remain the status quo because you're not getting another Diablo game for 10 years. Overwatch is not getting a sequel ever. And World of Warcraft is how it is, and we don't have StarCraft, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of made the statement that most games just remain multiplat, but I said there will be a new Infinity Ward game. Maybe there's a new Spyro game, and
we know Blizzard's
making a new IP.
Yeah. Yep.
Infinity Ward and Blizzard are making new IPs. There's going to be some return things. I said those might be exclusive to the Xbox platform, but PlayStation only fans, those of you who sell your feet online, listen up. Like, if you only play on a PlayStation piece of plastic, you're going to miss out on some games in this world. I don't know how to break it to you, but you're going to miss out on some games because not everything comes to the PS5. I just want to break that news to you. So if you look at ABK's games, and in the next, let's say in the next 5 years, Infinity Ward's game is, and Blizzard's game is finally out, and maybe one other thing is completely released. Those are going to be on PC, handheld, mobile, through xCloud, and on Xbox Series S and X.
And the Switch.
And maybe the new Nintendo console. I don't know. I don't think so. I think they just signed that for Call of Duty, but I'm talking about those new exclusives that, like, if you're like a diehard Spyro fan and you only play on a PS5, you might be in trouble, but you're not in trouble because you can always stretch out and play that game on any of these other, insert the Colt Eastwood graphic post-production.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Xbox is no longer just the console. And but that's another point I wanted to bring up is like, Colt, do you feel that they might stray away from the console at some point and just become like
Xbox?
Yeah.
I mean, they already are. And
no, I mean like get rid of consoles altogether.
Yes, they will.
I think so.
As soon as PlayStation does. Yes. I think
in
2030-ish, 2035, maybe the end of the 2030s, when the console is basically like your Blu-ray player or your CD player, when you're like, yeah, they were really cool, but I don't miss installing games and waiting for them to download. Like, everything's on demand. It feels great for a large core of the audience. Or as Hargeet Chani is predicting, that the technology will shrink so much in the next 10 to 15 years that we'll be able to either have a great handheld or the content will be right on our smart TV, like natively running. Because Hargeet says right now our phones and our TVs are pretty powerful in their CPUs. Like,
yeah, they are.
They're getting there. Like in the future, you can think, how could they not? And so I have to remind people, in the 2030s, you may have power on your LG, whatever it is, to run games natively, and you'll forget. You're like, I loved my console, but we used to do that when I was in my 30s or whatever. Yeah. And it's hard for people to say it because they're like, oh, I love the console so much, but one day it'll be so nice. We'll just say, those were great. This is how I play now.
Yeah, I used to love my Walkman. If somebody brought me a Walkman, I'd be like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not using this anymore. So I guess the better question is, will Xbox stop making hardware? And the only reason why I don't think they will is because even though, for instance, I'm using an Acer laptop right now and it's running Windows, and I have my Rogue Ally and it runs Windows, I also have a Microsoft device that runs Windows. I have a Surface Pro, right? So even though the Microsoft business model is, yes, we want our stuff on everything, and if you want to purchase our hardware as well, we can also accommodate you for that as well. So I could see Xbox or Microsoft potentially having like you said, maybe a TV. Maybe they come out with a TV that can have those games natively and all that other stuff. I don't see them fully getting away from the hardware just because. Why would they? You know?
Yeah, they don't even have to. They don't even have to make the TV. Like, in the next couple of years, they could sell that little what would they call it, the Google Fire Stick or whatever, you know,
the
those
dongle.
Like that was like a thing that's like in a concept, and maybe it's a smaller box, like a Roku box that you sit behind your TV. That's like, that could happen right now or in the next couple of years. But for those people who are like, well, what about my physical games? I just think owning a game physically is a thing that's going to become the past. Like, just like any other media. Like,
blasphemy.
You're hurting the PlayStation heart right now.
What are you saying?
Here, you're sitting here. Thank you for being here on Fonz's show. Is so amazing. When Fonz goes, Colt, can you jump on? I love being on Fonz's show. We're Gen X people. We grew up unwrapping a cassette tape to listen to music, or CDs, DVDs, or even VHS, and
or even vinyl albums.
Yeah, we loved it. But I'm an old guy, and I love that my music is on my phone. When I go in my car, it just like follows right along, and it's up on the screen in the car. And I get out, I put an earbud in, it's like resumes where I was playing. Anyway, that's a whole other discussion. But
let me ask you, Cole, do you rent games or do you buy games?
Both. And for anybody who's like, I don't want a future where you rent your games, like,
you're not a real gamer. Only real gamers buy games.
Where's the future where these PlayStation guys, they rent 99% of their movies and TV, but when it comes to video games, nope, I cannot. I will never. You don't own all 18 seasons of Friends.
They love Netflix. They love Hulu. But no, do not give me a subscription service for my gaming. That's not what I want.
Then
it's like, I'll take it, but it better not have new games on there.
Yes, that makes no sense.
It really makes no sense. We have a better subscription service. Our games are better. This service is awesome, but you better not put a brand new game on it. But
that's not the future. Like, I want to be clear. Sense. Like, only borrowing your games from a paid monthly service is not the only future, but we already know subscription services are king. They're so popular across music and movies and video games and getting bonus points at Costco, right? But it may become one of the most popular ways to play your games, but you'll always be able to buy them, even if it's just digitally. I still own like 700 games on just the Xbox console, and another 150 on PC, another 50 plus on PlayStation, that blah, blah, blah.
I remember that whole thing, the Forever physical thing that was out a couple of years back. Yeah, I just want to put it out there that 79% of all PlayStation owners buy digitally, not physical. Digital. 79%.
But let's tackle the Activision Blizzard thing. Like, Fonz, what's your What are you trying to push here? Like what needs to be said today about
Activision
what's
Blizzard?
going on?
Oh,
Yeah.
I cannot wait. As I told people, I haven't played the single player portions of COD in years. I've got a lot of single player games to play there. They're only 4 or 5 hour, little action adventure games there for COD because they don't last long. And that's why I never bought them for full price, because I wasn't into the multiplayer anymore. And I wanted to play the single player games. You guys were always telling me that they were really good. They were fun and everything. And I was like, yeah, but $60, $70, no thanks. I'm not buying that just for a 4 hour, 5 hour campaign. Now I get to play those games. I can't wait for those to drop into Game Pass and I can just boot them up, start playing them. It's a lot of games there just for that. And then of course you've got all future, and current Diablo games.
Wow,
that's a huge thing for me.
So you're gonna play old games?
Yeah.
That's the thing,
I just finished Prototype 2 this week.
Prototype was so good back in the day.
I mean, I beat that game back when the month it launched on Xbox 360, but I played
That's
it again
one I'd
from
like to see
scratch.
them bring back. I'd like a new prototype. I think
So
it'd be good.
this is what I get from all of this. So during this whole thing, we found out how much of a cash cow Call of Duty is for Sony, right? They're gonna have to figure out a way to continuously make that money. How do they do that now that money is going to be split with Microsoft, or Microsoft's going to be making the majority of that profit? What does Sony do to subsidize their AAA games now when they were using Call of Duty to do that, right? Because I'm sure the deal's not going to be the same.
Their own
that's what I'm
gas
looking
games.
at. What-
Their own gas games that they are creating now. Jim has already said they're going to have 60% really of their business pushed into gas games.
That's so hard
Doc,
to
what
do,
kind of
though.
deal do you think they got? Let's
It
hear
is
what
hard.
you. It's just a prediction because we have no idea. But Doc, what do you think kind of deal they struck with PlayStation? Because what were they getting? 30% off of games they don't make or own or anything on
Yeah.
Call of Duty?
Yeah, I don't think they're getting the same thing. I think this got passed because they were leave it to a Sony pony to tell you that they made Microsoft bend at the knee. No, I think they were desperate. I think they were like, hey, we need to make something out of this, whether it's 20% now or 15% now, whatever it could be. I think Microsoft is definitely winning. So much so, like you mentioned, they even told them the only thing you're getting is Call of Duty. That's the only thing you're getting now is Call of Duty. You're not getting anything else, anything in the future or anything like that.
It's crazy.
Which is insane, man. Which is insane. And then can you imagine if Microsoft does something really slick, like change the name of the Call of Duty games? But it's Call of
That's
Duty?
what we've mentioned that
imagine?
before.
Can you imagine?
Internally,
Like,
Colt and
it's
I
not
have
Call of
talked about
Duty.
that.
Right? It's not Call of Duty.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
changed it.
Well,
Now
Give it
well,
like a wish.com name.
Yeah. You know what? For all they care, they can call it Call of Booty and get away with it.
They'll put it in Spanish, llamada de duty. And now that's it. It's
Yeah.
not the same
There you
thing,
go.
Right? Yeah.
There you go.
Wait, what's the Spanish word for duty? Just duty?
I don't
Yeah,
I don't
come
even
on
know
now.
if that's it.
Gotta get something better than that.
Yeah.
I mean, the name is so strong they wouldn't do that. But
They could
is
name
kinda
it
funny
Call
if
of
they were-
Gun. Call of Gun.
Yeah.
And hey,
What if they just put a little word in there differently and just put,
doesn't.
just put a little tilde somewhere?
What's
and then
crazy
they-
is
then
how
they change
fast
it.
the tables turned too. Because at the beginning of this generation, I remember during Xbox One, people kept saying like they were worried for Microsoft, and it's like within a day. Now I'm looking at it. I am actually worried for Sony because, like you said, Fonz, they're coming up with these games as a service or whatever, but they're not out yet, and we don't know if they're going to be.
Oh,
good.
and
these
you're
things are
right.
hit or miss. These things are hit or miss.
Yeah, exactly. You're right about that because you can throw. We've seen companies, developers try to make a gas game, and most of them fail. Most of them. It's going to be hard for them to get something that sticks. I mean, look at even Halo, and I'm not saying it's a complete failure, guys. Don't come at me, but I'm saying that it's fallen hard, and it's hard to gain that momentum back. And they're trying, but it's tough. If you're not
Remember when I asked what was the last couple of successful games as service titles, and Soccer kept saying Apex Legends. I go, that was like 2019. What's recent?
Fortnite,
He's like,
Fortnite, Apex,
a Fortnite. I go, that was like 2017 or whatever, or 18. And he was like, I'm like, what's recently? Like, can you name a bunch? He would name a bunch.
Yeah.
We could all name games as service titles that were hot for a minute and died hard.
Yes.
And when you look at those PlayStation games as a service titles that they're starting to show, right, Doc?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like some of them, they're pushing like Foam Stars and this Saints Row Payday in third person, right?
Gosh.
What do you think about that, Dark? You think those are going to be bangers?
No, man. No, it's not. It's not.
like, nope.
I don't see it, because here's the thing with live service games or games as a service is that when you get hooked on a game like that, you're getting hooked on 2 games at the most, because these are games that you got to get skillful at to really enjoy. So you got to put a lot of time into it. That's why you see people that are like Apex Legends players that are Apex Legends players, Fortnite players that are Fortnite players. And yeah, from time to time, they might go ahead and play another games as a service, but they're not going to just dive into 5 of these different types of games. So when they're talking about making 10 of these games, they're expecting their fan base to hopefully attach to 2 of them, but they're still competing against the big ones. They're still competing against Fortnite. They're still competing against Warzone, which is now owned by Microsoft. They're still going to be competing against Apex Legends. They're still going to be competing against, believe it or not, people still play Roblox. They're still going to be competing against Minecraft. They're still competing against all these types of games that it's like, I don't see them doing it. And what they're going to do, a live service games where you're shooting dinosaurs with an arrow? What are they going to do?
They may try that. They may try.
I know they will. I said that because I'm pretty sure they will. You know what? Maybe sticking to remasters and remakes might be their best deal.
No.
Dang, are they doing
definitely
that?
not.
Maybe that might be their best deal, man. Now that I think about it,
Because I don't think. I mean, there's going to come to a point where people are just going to get sick of it. I saw a video of Marlin Gaming, which is a big PlayStation guy. And he was really fuming about that situation with this The Last of Us 2 announcement with the remaster. He was pissed.
3 years.
And yeah, rightfully so. This game again is not even 5 years old. Yeah. And it's like, why are we doing this? Like go for SOCOM. Like bring back SOCOM. Bring back old franchises that you had on the PlayStation 3. Infamous, anything. Not remaster of something that just came out a few years ago. It makes no sense.
And now they're not remastering Infamous Second Son because how successful was that game? It scored really well. I think it sold well.
No, I'm not even talking about Second Son. I'm talking about not remastering. I'm talking about just bringing back the franchises, just creating new installments.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they could do.
Well, everybody's like, why is it Resistance? Why don't they remaster the Resistance trilogy and see if people are still excited about that?
And here's the thing. Colt,
remaster, not remake. Because you can, for far less of an investment, they can take the Resistance trilogy and port it up to the PS5 and sell it for $40 or maybe
and
$70
then create a new one and create a new
see
one.
If people really are still excited about
I think people are
first party game.
I think even if they didn't do that and they put out a brand new Resistance title, I think that alone would get people to buy the game. Just putting a new title out there.
Something new. They need something new.
Here's the thing, and that's a safe bet, Colt. This is what we were talking about earlier. Doc brought it up. That it is these remasters and everything they're doing over there. Their template, the Sony template of game making, is a safe bet for them. Why not bring back, Resistance? Why not bring back SOCOM? Make these games, make new installments of these games. Those are safe bets as well. In my opinion, safe bet. If you tell people, hey, we're bringing back SOCOM, the internet would go ballistic. They'd get so excited for this game. They would. Gamers loved it. Gamers loved Resistance.
That's the other thing, that word right there. That when you look at the PlayStation side, I'm sorry to say, there's nothing really exciting on that side when you look at the future. There's nothing exciting. Xbox is really exciting right now because we don't know what the future's in store, but we know what we got. When you're looking at the PlayStation, Spider-Man, Wolverine, okay, what else?
Yeah.
What else? What, you know what I mean?
That's Concord, and then Ronin. You've got these games that not a lot of PlayStation fans are talking about. Right. Amazing Lucas threw a big fit. Like, what are you doing? You're remastering games. We don't even know what's in the future. And I keep telling people, what does PlayStation have for first party in 2024? MLB 24? And oof. I don't know what else. Because I think Wolverine is 2025. I mean, it should be if they're going big on that game. There's no way it could be ready by now, but Somniac's pretty amazing. But I don't know what their future is. At least with Xbox, you can say, Does Clockwork Revolution look like something you'd want to play? Does Avowed look like something you'd like?
Yes,
Hellblade looks big.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
Starfield looks big. Forza Motorsport, Starfield are coming. In 2024,
you've
like
just
over the next
mentioned
year.
you've just mentioned a few games that are really exciting, but you can't do the same for Sony right now.
But you know what's the
No.
most exciting about everything that he just mentioned? How easy it's going to be to access those games.
yeah.
That's what's the
Yep.
most exciting. So even though I may not be excited for Avowed, when it drops, if Colt's like, hey, this game's actually pretty good. Okay, let me try it. I don't have
You
to.
hit the install button.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And you
Yes.
don't even have to hit the install button all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
I
can just
don't
play it
even
through the
have to-
cloud. You can try it, and if you like it, install it.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, they wanted Microsoft to compete. Microsoft didn't want to compete blow for blow. They did it their own way, and now it's looking like the gamble that they took with Game
Yep.
Pass, the ecosystem, and cloud and everything is paying off.
It really
It's
is.
paying
Let
off.
me get to these super chats. There's a bunch of them here. Shadow Demon SB, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. He says Destin predicts that Take-Two as the next Xbox acquisition on ILP. I don't buy that. I don't buy that. That's huge. That's expensive. Not 70 billion expensive, but that's expensive. They've already spent 70 billion. Colt, do you think they're going to take a rest right now from buying big developers or publishers, I should say, at this point? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I think they're going to take a rest from publishers unless that
I think they'll
publisher
get smaller
includes.
things.
Yeah, I think they really want to pick up Sega as soon as it is possible
Yeah.
and viable for
I
them.
think so.
So that's a publisher, and this is what upsets PlayStation fans because Bethesda was a publisher, but it's a family of studios. You know, they went after I guess they sort of did go after the publisher because they knew that Bethesda would publish their own titles and they wouldn't have to expand their own group of people. They could have them do that contained within themselves. The same thing with Activision Blizzard. So yeah, I think they're going to pick up a couple more studios because as Phil and the team tried to point out that they are going to need a few more studios than PlayStation to be able to have the same market power because PlayStation has it has nothing to do with quality or whatever or amount of content that comes out. It has to do with that whole set where Xbox has to pay way more than PlayStation because their name has so much power behind them to get a third-party deal cut on their behalf because people are like, why
Makes
would we cut
sense.
for you? Yeah.
Makes sense. Cerebral Assassin, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. He says, this question is for all three of you. What do you guys think will happen to BattleNet? Oh, will it have the same fate as Bethesda app? Well, BattleNet, yeah, that's a good question because BattleNet is highly regarded as being one of the best services. So what do you think they would do with that, Cole? Do you think that they would just implement BattleNet some way or just use BattleNet? Because a lot of people prefer BattleNet.
BattleNet's one of the best, and I've heard Jez say that BattleNet should just become the new Xbox network. But maybe Xbox should just model things more geared toward the way BattleNet works. But they're going to have some segmented programs, and I think that's one of them. You'll have to have BattleNet will have to go alongside Xbox Live.
Yeah, because BattleNet really is good. Yeah. RDX Son of Fett, thank you very much for the $14 super chat. He says, Forza Vigilante 8, please, Xbox. Forza Vigilante.
I've never played it, but I know
Me
people love
neither.
it.
Shadow Demon SB again. Thank you very much, man. He says, Halo Infinite is in a great state right now. Please return. Well,
I still enjoy Halo Infinite.
I'm not saying it's bad necessarily. I mean, it works and everything. And I hear people say that, but I think they lost a lot of people. You know, after all the issues they were having and stuff. I think some people they deleted it off their Xboxes and PCs and haven't went back. OGTK Cole, thank you very much. He says, shout out to Fonzarelli and Doc Dark.
What's up, man? Shout out to you too, bro.
He's a good dude. Lord Roughness, Thank you very much. He says, hi, guys. Next year will be another dry year for Sony because the last 2 years they've brought all their bangers out already. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. We don't know what they've got coming.
It's mostly remasters and sequels of PS4 games.
It's obvious that's why they're doing the remaster of The Last of Us 2. Again, it's weird that they're doing a game that's so recent, though. If they want to do a remaster, go back further. Like, I think a lot of people are getting sick of that.
I
don't understand what.
I had this huge critique of Xbox. I used to say, what's Xbox's identity, right? Because I remember people used to tell me Xbox was the shooter box, Xbox was the gritty box, all this other stuff, whatever. And it was funny because I made a video, okay, what is Xbox's identity? And then finally, like, it's as clear as day, they care more about the ecosystem than anything else, right? But now it's like, what is Sony's identity? Who are they right now? Because if this is who they are, just this company that just keeps remaking stuff, and it does seem like they're just milking the same things over and over again. And even their games that are different are still similar. Like I mentioned, that grapple hook, man, that climbing a wall that's marked, that all that stuff, like it's over. It's the same. It's whether you like it or not, it's the same formula. You know what I mean? So who is Sony and how do they go forward? And now they're going to have these games as a live service. That's perfectly fine. They're going to try something new, but that is a really big gamble. And they had Call of Duty to fall back on. Now that's gonna be gone. I'm terrified for them right now. Terrified for them.
That's crazy. Yeah. Hargeet Chani, thank you very much for the $5 super chat. He says Nintendo's next console will likely be closer to the Series S, and will have devs making games for all three platforms. The Series S is fine. It's fine, but to a degree. If it holds back anything from the Series X, as a Series X owner, I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
And I'm not saying it's happening, but if it does, and in the case of Larian Studios not wanting to put out a game that's not 60 frames, and if the Series S can't handle it, they can't put it on the Series X as well because, well, they just don't want to do it. So that's just, it's weird. It's a weird situation. And the Andrew 13, thank you very much. He says parity is about the features, not the FPS. Yeah, we talked about that.
Do you guys realize that after that Xbox showcase, the only bad thing people could say was Starfield 30 FPS on the X?
Mm-hmm.
If Starfield would have been 60 on the X, there would have been nothing bad to say.
They would have found something else for sure.
But it wouldn't have had merit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have had merit.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at Starfield, I saw somebody try to explain this to me. They said that the reason why you can't do that is because you could collect sandwiches or something. And they saw it from like Digital Foundry. I was like, I don't want to collect sandwiches. I would prefer to be able to run the game on the X at 60, right? And then the one thing that does make me upset from my fellow Xbox fans is when I get an Xbox fans that tell me, if you want to play at 60 frames, get a PC. And it's like, but I bought the premium console.
Yeah.
I bought the premium console. So
that's where GAAS says they took an L for that, because they did push the 60 frames and even 120. And they said they were going to focus on that this generation. And it's like, okay, now what,
Let me ask you
I
this.
I do believe. What's up? Hellblade? I'm going to take a guess and say they'll probably have a performance mode in that game because I don't think it's as big as something like Starfield.
Okay. What do you think, Colt?
I think it'll have a performance mode, and I think the whole this is so out of pocket for me, but the preferred method amongst most gamers will be play this cinematic 24 FPS true cinematic camera mode that it'll be a quality mode that looks like you're playing a full huge budget movie, but you'll be able to play it at 60 FPS at a way lower resolution like you can Senua Sacrifice.
Yeah,
I think they'll offer those two modes, but I think what you'll hear from the masses is having it full fidelity to simulate real cinema. And I know there's a joke between Jez likes to say the filmic 30 FPS. But this will probably be a 24 FPS mode that'll be the true cinematic, like a real actual cinematic experience. It's going to be part of the allure of the game to feel like if somebody walked in the room, they'd be like, what are you watching? it'll actually look like a real movie in motion. But as far as Starfield, when we talk about, I mean, I had a lot of videos. I made a lot of predictions how there probably will be a performance mode. And then Todd Howard says they're using a form of global illumination. Starfield does far more than any other PlayStation first-party game has ever even dreamed. The entire scope of the game and everything you can do and the way you interact with the world, no PlayStation first-party game has ever offered that level of immersion, interactivity, and full experience. This game is huge, so huge. Yeah, it's going to be a big deal, and I wish it ran at 60. I'm curious to see what you'll have to do on a PC to get that performance on that engine.
Is huge.
Oh man, that thing is massively huge.
Wait a minute. We're still talking about Starfield, right?
Yes, we're talking about Starfield.
Oh, I can't believe you still have that clip. Do it again.
Oh no, I already moved from it. But
so here's the thing, Cole. I hear what you're saying about Starfield, and I've heard it plenty of times. People telling me how big this game is and everything. This game better be good. If it's coming out,
you're darn right.
It better be good.
Are you really on my show telling me it better be good?
It better be. Starfield. Listen, Redfall was
Starfield. No. Redfall. Redfall was always a piece of shit. Okay, from day one. All right. That game. When I first saw that game, I was talking mad crap about that game.
Maybe just you.
Okay, it was probably
you and
me.
GAAS were right when you said that game should run at 120 hertz mode, 120 FPS mode on.
Starfield?
Yeah, looking at the scope in Unreal Engine 4, like
Starfield.
Yeah, that's bad.
On my show. How dare you?
Fonz, what is Starfield about?
You will be able to do anything in this game. You will be able to do your laundry in this game. That's right. You'll be able to collect sandwiches. Eat those sandwiches. Put them in a drawer for next time. Do what you will in this game. It's massive. How dare you, Doc, come to my show and tell me this game is not... It better be good. It will be good. It's the best game you'll ever play. There's not one game out there that will top Starfield. Not one. How dare you, sir?
That's a pretty big prediction.
How dare you?
I'm going to say I was there when Fonz said this game was going to be amazing.
It's going to be amazing, folks. It's going to be amazing. Anyways.
No, but it does have to be. It has to be good. It has to be good. We'll see. It'll be great.
It's going to be amazing. Stop it, Colt. Game's going to be great. All right. So 80s Gamer and Beyond, $2 super chat. Thank you very much. He says PS5 is a remaster box. Stop buying Popcorn Studios. Wow. But it's becoming that. It's becoming the remaster box. I've seen people call it the Milk Station 5. Yeah. Because they just keep milking franchises over and over. The Last of Us especially. Like, come on. I love that game. But you're ruining it. Like, stop. Yeah. Hargeet Shani, thank you very much. He says, hardly anyone our age is playing split screen. That's true. I never even cared for it. Well, I did play split screen back in the day when we were kids because you had to. You're on the couch.
Yeah.
It was. But now, even when I was a young adult, I hated split screen. We would do the LAN party thing
with my son, and that was good split screen.
Xbox was the OG Xbox. We were doing LAN parties and stuff with Halo, so we didn't have to.
I was playing Tiny Tina's Wonderland in split screen with my son, and you get so spoiled when I had to share half of a 60-inch or 65-inch, whatever. It's too much. It's I don't know. You have to really deal with it split screen.
Yeah.
Hargeet
Chani, thank you very much. Yet again, $5 super chat says ABK will be bad for you because you will have too many games to play. 100% right. He wins that. He wins that argument. It's already getting. This year there's been a lot of great games that have dropped this year. A lot of great games. So it's going to be interesting to see the Game of the Year nominations. Really interesting. We'll see.
I haven't played it yet, but people keep saying Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's one of them. I don't know. I
Played
haven't
it for a couple hours.
Risk it for the biscuit. Thank you very much, man. He says, I don't think they do away with native experience. No, that's what they're saying. That's what Colt was trying to say, is there will be a way to play it natively without a console. It might be in the
Baked
TV,
into the TV.
or it might be, baked in whatever you're using.
I think
don't
the
know.
native on-demand experience, or not on-demand, but I think the native experience will be more popular. I think cloud might be a holdover. It might be a holdover for like 5 or 10 years.
Cloud
until
works.
the native on your screen, on your handheld and TV becomes frictionless.
I think cloud is very good in a Wi-Fi setting, and it's not like competitive play. Like you're not playing COD or something online. If you're just playing a single player game, I think it's fine. It's good. But I've tried to play some games, even single player games outside of, my Wi-Fi, and it's spotty. I mean, if you get a good 5G signal, it's great. But anything less, you're just kind of like, I feel the lag. It's pretty bad. Risk it for the biscuit. Oh,
it also depends who you are too. So like, for instance, when my son was over here visiting, he played everything on the cloud. Like he didn't care. He's 9 years old, right? So again, a lot of people don't like to hear this, but guys, we don't really matter. Like we're already gamers, right? So they're trying to get the new generation of gamers. They're trying to get our kids, our grandkids. This is what they're going to get. And our kids, our grandkids don't know what it's like to have a physical copy of something. They don't really care about owning and all that other stuff. They just care about having access to it, right? So when I would come home from work and I would look at my Xbox, I would have like 10 games that would be across the screen. And I'm like, did you download? No, I'm playing them on the cloud. And he wouldn't care. So even something as that I'm playing on cloud and I could tell input lag or whatever, to him is not that big of a deal as well. So I'm telling you right now, as the cloud technology gets better,
kids are playing Fortnite on the iPads.
Facts.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why? But
touchscreen controller. Multiplayer games on a touchscreen, you know what I mean? Like, why would you not just put a Razer Kishi attached to it? Like they don't.
Isn't Warzone on mobile almost as big as console? It's huge.
I think it might.
It's massive.
COD. Hey, honestly, COD is huge in the mobile space.
Oh man, that thing what my favorite cope is, Doc?
Yeah.
My favorite cope right now is Call of Duty is dying. Battlefield's going to take over. Like COD's dead. Like no one cares about COD anymore. That was 2013.
But that's
my
the
favorite
thing, Colt.
cope. It's like,
here's what's funny. They make so much in the mobile space for COD that PlayStation guys saying that they're going to boycott it makes no sense. It's dumb.
Nobody boycotts any game. We've heard that for years. I'm boycotting this. These what was it? JTech TV says I'm never buying another Activision Blizzard game, even on my PlayStation. In spite of Xbox, it's like you're literally going to cut all the money. Like that's where PlayStation makes most of their money, is on Diablo sales now, and PlayStation sales, and Minecraft. Copeth.
Yeah, so
Fonz really thinking
COD. No, I was looking at the COD mobile. It makes,
what do you got?
Oh, what's it
makes
say?
a lot of money. It makes
Am I close or
it's just?
What does it say?
I don't know.
Say it and move on.
I can't read.
I can't.
I can't read. I can't read and focus on the show at the same time.
Average monthly players for the last 30 days have been 58 million.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's that many on PlayStation playing COD. Hardy Johnny super chat for $2 says Kotick said Call of Duty Mobile is larger than console. If you can believe Bobby Kotick.
Yes,
Kotex.
I did read that before. I did read that stat before, and I've stated it here on the show. COD Mobile is bigger than the COD on consoles for sure.
Oh my God, we didn't even talk about that. That's the biggest money maker that Microsoft's about to make right now. All the mobile stuff.
All the mobile stuff. And that's why they wanted this deal. Number one is for King and all the mobile stuff. I didn't even realize when I was looking into it initially, that's how I found out about Call of Duty being bigger than the console version, was that they said that. And I was like, oh, holy crap, COD.
Hey,
I didn't
Sony's
even
in
think about
trouble.
that.
We need to support Sony. Go out there and start buying some merchandise.
Oh, there he goes with the PlayStation Cup. Yeah, I've got my own. There.
They're gonna need every 2 cents. Oh my
Risk
god.
it for the biscuit. Thank you very much. He says they should call it Medal of Duty. Change the name from Call of Duty. Yeah,
Medal of Duty.
That works though. That works.
Hey, what about Xbox straight up lying and saying that Activision franchises would stay on PlayStation, but now they're saying only Call of Duty will remain on PlayStation with this new contract?
It's not a lie.
No, it's not a lie. I don't think it's a lie.
How's that not a lie? It sounds like a lie when the hooves get a hold of it.
It was an that's funny. I like that. It was an offer that they refused. So now they're begging for mercy. So now we're coming up with a different offer, and now they got to take that offer. That's what it is. Not a lie.
So is that
it
what
probably
happens?
was on the table before.
Hold on.
Jim tried to sweat Phil.
Yeah.
And then made Phil wait like over a year because they started talking about this in March of 2022. And now here we are in July of 2023. And you're telling me that Phil's like, look, here's the deal now. You know, just Call of Duty. That's all you get. You want Spyro? I don't know if you care about Spyro. You want StarCraft? I don't know if you care about StarCraft. We're keeping that. Is that what happened?
Yeah. Hold on. I've got Jim on the line again. Jim?
Oh, good.
Jim? Jim? We want to ask you some questions. Okay, we got to let him go. Sorry,
yeah,
Jim.
somebody in the chat
Compose
said,
yourself.
Yesterday's prices is not today's prices. That's exactly what happened. That's
exactly.
exactly what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Sony called Microsoft and was like, hey, man, look, let's just make this deal. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way that went.
Let me get through these chats, guys. Profit, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. He says, rename COD to Soldier of Fortune. There you go. Spartan661, thank you very much. He says, enjoy it. Xbox is the best deal you could find.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Well, right now it is the best deal in gaming. Game Pass is for sure. I mean, Rachy, thank you very much for the $2. He says, Shadow of Colossus remaster for the PS5, please. See, that's an old game. Wait, didn't they remaster that for the PlayStation 4? They did.
They remaster everything.
So, gosh, I don't know.
They're about to remaster the PS5, and it's only been out 3 years.
I don't even just.
Oh, they're about to remaster.
Hargeet Johnny.
They are, aren't they, Doc?
Oh no.
They've been
Better remaster Jim quick. Sorry, Fonz, it's your show.
They will.
We're just here.
Hargeet, thank you very much. He says Colt doesn't even think Starfield will be a Game of the Year nominee. Are we sure it'll be
actually
good? You don't think it will be?
No, I never say that. No, Starfield's gonna be great. I just think there's too many games that are in the way that are really good. One of them, I think I included Diablo 4, but a lot of people seem to say they don't think Diablo 4 is going to be accepted as a nomination for Game of the Year. Like, it's really great, but I think those people are admitting that all they're doing is hitting X.
It's going to be Hogwarts. It's going to be Hogwarts, of course. That'll be.
I don't know if it will be Hogwarts. I said Hogwarts to a lot of people, and they're like, I'm like, well, Hogwarts is really good.
Fonz, let
me indulge you for a minute, because this is kind of a good discussion. It's way early to have the Game of the Year discussion, but let me indulge you for a second, because I put together a little mini graphic so I can actually see the games that I said. Well, I was trying to be as objective as possible. So I said Tears of the Kingdom will be nominated. Super Mario Brothers Wonder will be nominated.
No, what? What is that?
Yeah, I know. I said the same thing the other day.
No. That's not nominated.
It's the next entrance into the Super Mario Bros. It's a full entrance. It's a side-scrolling
when's that happening?
Acid trip this October.
Oh.
Yeah, actually, when you get a chance, guys, go watch the trailer. It's beautiful.
So possibly,
because
you're right.
People are gonna love that game to death. And then Final Fantasy 16 is probably gonna get the nod. It'll be an entrance, and then maybe Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And I think here's the curveball from the Xbot, Colt Eastwood. I think Hi-Fi Rush might get the nomination as a smaller game, because they always pick one smaller game and then some big games. And then I said Diablo 4. Now that's 6 games. And Hargy and I've talked about this.
Spider-Man 2?
I don't think Spider-Man 2 or Starfield could get squeezed in unless you guys think there's something that should replace Diablo 4, like Metroid Prime remaster. Resident Evil 4 is another big one. It's kind of packed. But maybe it will. Because I think that the panel, the jury panel was going to be in love with Starfield. And they're going to play Spider-Man 2 and go, kind of did this 3 times already. And now I'm doing it, in 5 years, I've done this 3 times. But it's going to be a changing experience playing Starfield. Like going out in the unknown and making your own deal, right?
God, I hope you guys are right, man. I hope you guys got a lot of faith in this Starfield game, man. Ugh. Okay.
I mean, it's really special. Like Fallout 4 is considered one of the least favorite of the Fallout greats, and people still love it to death. And I think it got nominated for Game of the Year in 2015. So it's a big deal. Like they haven't gone all the way in with a game in a long time since 2015. So Starfield's going to be a big deal. So I think Starfield is, yeah. And I would say I'll close this because if you guys don't want to talk about Game of the Year, because it's way too early. I'll close this by saying I think Starfield has a better chance of being in the list of nominees than Spider-Man 2 does.
Oh, I do too. 100%. I do too.
I think if it comes between those two in one of the spots, depending on what the darling is for the jury.
Here's why. Because when Starfield I look at Spider-Man, when I see Spider-Man 2, which I'm going to play, I'm going to have fun with it for sure. But when I look at that game, I see the same old.
It's been done before.
Spider-Man.
And Alan Wake 2's coming out. Like Alan Wake 2 could knock people's socks off, or it could be pretty good. I have no idea.
I'm going to predict that one's not going to be very good.
I kind of feel the same, Fonz. I know it sounds crazy when I'm saying it. I'm just trying to manage expectations. I know nothing about Xenoblade Chronicles. I know it scored really well, and there's probably big fans, and it did really well with the reviews. So that means that all the critics really liked it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I could tell you this. There are easily 7 to 8 Game of the Year should be nominated, and there's only 6 spots. That's why I brought this up.
By the way, there's over 530 people in the chat. Please hit that like button if you like the show. Sir. I appreciate you guys very much for being here. And if you're listening at home after the fact, thank you very much for listening. And join us sometime on the live show.
3 is another one.
It's always fun.
You get your supers real quick.
Yeah, I've got a bunch of supers here. Let me get to them. Colt just hijacks the show. That's all he does. 80s Gamer and Beyond. Thank you very much. He says that, let me bring it up. He says there's a GoFundMe at Sony headquarters right now, guys. There's a GoFundMe. Support Sony. They need all the support they can get right now. They are hurting bad. You heard Jim on the line. He can't even compose himself. It's really bad. William Lewis, thank you very much for the $2. He says Super Mario Wonder, Spider-Man 2 released the same day. Oh, so, man, that's not good for Sony. That's not good for Sony.
That's not good for Sony. Nintendo don't miss. Nintendo does not miss.
There are 2 franchises you do not want to go up against. That is, of course, Zelda and Mario.
And Pokemon. You don't want to go up against Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, Pokemon too. That's 3. And Sony's got all of them. Sony, you're exactly right. They don't miss, man. That is scary. That is crazy.
Terrifying. Yes.
Danny Passion Official, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. He says, Beyond Two Souls or Detroit Become Human?
About remasters.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Detroit.
But that's a problem, guys. Listen to what we're doing. We're asking Sony to make remasters. Why don't they make something new?
Yeah.
Without a bow and arrow. Let's ask them to make something new.
Without a grapple hook you can only use on designated areas,
Yes, like Jesus.
Yeah.
You hardly use that grappling hook in Forbidden West.
It was so stupid. That was a feature I was looking forward to, right? I was like, okay, that's great. They added a grapple hook. I'll be able to just, use it anywhere.
I don't think you can swing. I think you only, it's more like a
jump off or jump on. It's pull yourself
Yeah.
up or
Pull yourself, yep.
It's
yeah,
like,
that's it.
what's the word? Like it's like a what do they call it?
Zip line.
It's like a winch almost. Just
Kind
like
of,
winches
kind
you
of,
to it.
kind of.
Yeah. Anyway,
But see,
enough
when it
about
came
that.
to Halo Infinite, that grapple hook, that one mechanic made it so much more fun.
Oh my
It
god.
made that game freaking awesome. Like there was points
Once
in
I
that game,
unlocked the third person camera, like super punch while you're grappling into a
Yes.
brute.
yes.
Oh man, I use that so much.
And then a banshee would come flying by, and I would just grapple onto the banshee, kick him out. Oh, I love that.
You're talking about gameplay, Fonz. You better stop.
That
Stop talking about
mechanic
gameplay.
actually worked there. And here I am in Horizon for Boring West, and I'm like, where can I use my grapple hook? I've got it. I'm just
what
running
Fonz
around
is
holding
talking
it.
about.
I'm like, where can I use it? Where can I use it? Oh, over there? Nope.
What
No.
Fonz
Oh,
is
there's a
talking
yellow.
about is when you
There's
play,
a yellow X.
when you play
Oh,
an
there it
Xbox
is.
game. When you play an Xbox game, you actually do those things in the game. Like you actually
Yes.
make those happen by moving your character, timing, getting things in. And when I'm looking at the Spider-Man 2 footage, I'm like, that's just a square button. That's just a triangle button. And it
Oh, just
takes
wait till you
over
get to
for
the
several
boss
seconds.
fights. Then it is just a
Oh,
square button
Colt,
or
you
triangle
didn't hear me
button.
say earlier. I said that Spider-Man boss fights are like Simon Says. It's like press X now. Press X now.
Yep.
That's what- I mean, it's literally what it is.
Man, I loved Spider-Man 2018. It was probably in my top 3 that year, but I am not super excited about the third game.
Yeah, the
Sorry.
third game, basically.
And
Yeah.
and some
It's gonna
people are kind
look
of starting
good.
to
I know
say it.
that. It's gonna look good. I know that.
It'll play good too. It's
That's
just
why- that's why
whether or not you're going to have fun with the mechanics or
There's so much money in Spider-Man 2. Like it's going to make so much money, but wouldn't you rather see them make Sunset Overdrive 2 first?
Yes.
And
Yes.
they take a little bit longer and have it exclusive to PlayStation because
No.
they own the IP
Yes.
now.
I
Like make an exclusive Sunset Overdrive 2. I just don't think they will.
I
'cause-
didn't like Sunset Overdrive. I'm in the
What?
minority though. I didn't
like
care
the
for
blow
it.
up
Yeah, I didn't
characters
care
and
for it
things like
because you basically had to stay off the ground, and I hated being on those rails, and it wasn't.
Well, I played the game like this the first few hours until I got used to it. I'm just trying to keep my character up. I feel like an OG Nintendo friend that comes over and goes.
I don't think
"Play
it's
Super Mario
terrible
Brothers."
though. It's not a bad. It's not a bad game. It's
Oh
just
my god, it was so much
not for
fun.
me.
And I played it on Game Pass. Oh my god, it was amazing.
Oh,
that's another
I
thing.
played
Hey,
it at
guys,
launch, man.
So here's the thing, guys. There's something interesting about me. Okay, I didn't get into the Xbox ecosystem until this generation. Okay, so imagine what it's like to be a Game Pass gamer on a Series X, and you get to play through all the Halos, all the Gears, Sunset Overdrive, Ori,
jeez.
Rise Son of
Yeah.
Rome, all these games back to back to back, upscale to 4K, 60, HDR, all that other stuff. When I'm telling you, my mind was blown. It was amazing. Oh my goodness. I even had fun playing this little game called Recore, which a lot of people don't play. But it was for me, it was just like, how can anybody complain about Microsoft? And I remember the Sony fans telling me, Doc, eventually you're gonna come out of the honeymoon phase and you're gonna see that Microsoft has no games and all this other stuff. But then there's still third-party games that I haven't played on there as well that I started to play. So I'm like, we call it eating. I'm still eating very, very,
Yep.
very well. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was amazing though. But to be able to play all those games like that, and they didn't have to be remastered or remade. They were already Ninja Gaiden. I played Ninja Gaiden for the first time on the Xbox Series X. It was, come on, it was ridiculous. So
And that thing runs at like 4K 60, right? That version.
It does. It
Yeah,
does. It's
yeah.
beautiful, man.
Hargeet Chani, thank you very much, man. $5 super chat. He says, I disagree with Colt. I think Starfield will make it. We also have Baldur's Gate 3 coming. Oh, yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 is in contention. Street Fighter 6 is a 92. Mortal
I don't
Kombat
know about
1 could be
Xenoblade
good.
Chronicles. I just looking at the metrics, and I heard a lot of people say that it's going to be in there, and I just feel like it
Baldur's
would
Gate is being heralded as being one of the best RPGs. It's
There's just
RPG
too many
guys
people
out there
for too many
love it.
slots.
And you know,
Too few.
sometimes that happens. Even if a game is really, pushed up and elevated, they usually sometimes take a game that's like an RPG and put it in like an RPG category. Best RPG.
They might do that, Fonz, and I know
So-
they don't have criteria for size of studio or genre,
Yep.
and they don't have a criteria that says a racing game can't make it. But the jury, each jury panel member might think ooh, I kind of want to have a mix on my pick.
Yeah.
You know, I want to have an RPG. I want to have an action game. You know, I want to make sure I kind of represent what everything happened in the year. And then I agree with, I have to give part of myself to that. Like, yeah, Starfield should totally be in there if they kind of try to cultivate a really great.
That's why I think they'll take
illustrates the year. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think they'll take something like Baldur's Gate and not necessarily make it game of the year, but be the best RPG of the year or something. And they might even do the same for Diablo 4. They might throw it in that same category.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They won't give it a game of the year. They'll just give it its own separate. Yeah.
Yeah. So that way they can get celebrated as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Make sure Diablo gets a stew, but just not in the game of the year final category.
Yeah, because we've seen other games get that before, and you know, it kind of appeases a lot of people as well. You know how some gamers get all upset if their game doesn't make it. But it's weird.
And personally, I expect Starfield to be in the 6th slot in one of them. I really do. But I'm also kind of preparing for, I mean, there's just so many, like I said, eight some games that are coming out. There's only 6 spots.
I thought you were going to say, I'm preparing for mediocrity.
No. I mean, I know Starfield's going to be incredible. Fonz and I talk about this all the time. I know we have to help Doc a little bit. We have to help them with this.
Telling you, it's a Bethesda single player RPG. If you're into their single player RPGs, you're going to be into Starfield.
Hold on, Fonz. Is it coming on Game Pass?
Yes.
Because there's going to be Game Pass fodder, right? Isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, guess what? Psychonauts 2 was there too, and it was amazing.
That was before. That one don't count. No, you know.
I don't know.
Oh, that was made before. Oh, well,
this generation, PlayStation and Xbox's first party games equal out to an 84 Metacritic. So I don't. They're both pretty much the same. I don't know what to tell you.
Ichiban Kasuga, right? Ichiban Kasuga.
Yeah.
He says, "Will there ever be a time where games are distributed same as music and movies on all platforms?" No, I don't think so. I think that's the world we live in this industry. I don't really celebrate exclusivity like as a fanboy or anything. I celebrate it now as like a gamer who likes the competition for the corporations to stay in the industry and compete. But I would like everybody to be able to play the same thing.
Yes.
But then they would have to compete at a hardware level, right?
Yes.
That's what they would have to do.
That's what it should be. It should be exclusive features, not exclusive software. That to me doesn't make sense at all. That's why whenever you argue with a pony and they're like, well, that's not exclusive. I'm like, well, why does that?
Yeah.
You can play it on PC. It's like, well, why does that matter? But now that narrative for them is dead as well because every single game's going to PC as well. Well, now it's not going day and date. So it's a timed exclusive on PlayStation. Like, what are we talking about?
Because it doesn't make me mad that a game that somebody else can play the same game I can play.
Exactly.
Doesn't make me upset at all. I don't understand that. Hargeet Chani, thank you very much. That got too small. I can't read.
I'm about to start going live just so Hargeet can start super chatting me. God damn.
He says there's also the remakes that could get nominated for Game of the Year, like Dead Space and Resident Evil 4. Not sure if they should, but they may get nominated. Yeah, they may.
Yeah, I know.
Freaking Capcom, right? And then I got one more here from
Whoa. You know what? I just thought about it. No.
Whoa.
No remake should be Game of the Year.
I know. I feel the same way.
Whoa.
What's this guy doing?
Chat, help us out. Like, has there been any nominations? I think Resident Evil 2 remake got nominated in 2018.
You do know who that is,
or 19.
right? You do know who that is. Oni. You came in last week with Dreamcast guy's avatar. This week he's got JTech.
Oh my gosh.
The disrespect.
He said Doc is a pony bot, Fonz. Be careful. Check this pic.
Love it.
Man. You had to come with the man. And what's up with the hat? Was he wearing that?
It's a tinfoil hat.
Was he
wearing
that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Crazy.
I love it very much, how he said that no one will watch losers who talk about the losing console, and yet you've got 500 people here hanging out with Doc.
And all the losers. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all here.
Soulless or losers, just the
The
loser
king of
squad over here.
losers.
All the lose, yeah.
Eating good,
Eating
happy.
delicious.
Xbox fans constantly celebrating
Well-
the hobby, happy, enjoying their games, not
Right.
crying constantly. This was great.
Well, what I
Love it.
want to, before we get out of here, I just want to ask you, Colt, real quick, and I'm going to ask you, Doc, afterward. What is the biggest takeaway for you guys with this acquisition? Like, what are you looking most forward to with this acquisition?
First, I'm looking forward to the extra funding that's going to bring to the Xbox platform and solidify it as Microsoft should be spending money here and that they will continue to support it. That's the first thing we're going to see before we see any new IPs. And then I'm looking forward to one or two great franchises having time to make a new game because the Call of Duty machine is going to back off a little bit. And boy, oh boy, is that really going to, I mean, they were going to do that anyway, but that'll hurt PlayStation's bottom line because I would love to see what that split is that they get. Sounds like they just like everyone else, they had to just sign the deal. They had just signed the papers.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to a renewed investment in the Xbox platform.
Yeah, and hopefully renewed investments, as you said, with the funding, renewed investments in some of the popular franchises, maybe revitalize some of those old franchises that we want to see come back, like Prototype, you know. That would be nice. Or, you know, just new projects, new IP. Doc, what about you, brother?
So just from the gaming perspective, I'm just worried about how quickly these games get on Game Pass, right? I don't apologize
Same.
for being a Game Pass gamer, right? So the more games on Game Pass, the better it is. I agree with what Colt said as well. The more funding that Microsoft gets to make more games for me, the better it is as well. I don't feel sorry for PlayStation fans or PlayStation as a company at all. They got to figure out their own thing. I was told a very long time ago, I made a video and I said, why doesn't PlayStation want me to play Spider-Man? Like, why do they have to have it exclusive? And the response I got was, Doc, you're not playing Spider-Man because you don't want to play Spider-Man, meaning I could go out and buy a PlayStation. And you know what? They were right. So now, if for whatever reason there's a game that becomes exclusive to the Xbox platform, guess what, Sony Pony? It's your fault that you're not playing it, because not only can you play it on Xbox, you could play it on your refrigerator, damn near, right? So Xbox is allowing you to play it wherever you want. This also proves that Xbox does care, Microsoft does care about gaming, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be spending $70 billion on it, right? So I'm excited to see the future. They're the ones that are pushing the cloud technology more than anybody else. Stadia was up there, but they stopped, right? So Microsoft is arguably doing more for gaming this generation than any other company. And I'm excited for that. I'm a subscription service type of gamer, and I want my subscription service to be better, and it's going to be better. So that's what I'm excited for.
I hear you. I'm getting people in the chat there. I've got a super chat here that says, from Carlos Alvarado, and others have been saying it too, Xbox Live is transitioning to Game Pass Core now. Apparently, I just looked it up, Colt, and there's like a graphic. I want to see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can get this. Oh, wow. Okay. No, that's not it.
Hey, that works too, though.
That's not it. That's not the one. Okay, here it is. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger.
Choose the right plan for you.
Choose. Oh, wow. It went away.
Again.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Doing it on the fly. Right there. Okay. So this is the new Game Pass plans, I guess. So you got Core, $9.99 a month, which is online multiplayer catalog of over 25 high quality games on console, member deals and discounts. And then you've got console at $11, and it's basically hundreds of high quality games on console, new games on day one. Oh, so that's basically the regular Game Pass. So what do you think about that Core, guys?
It's pointless.
Wow, why?
It's
well, I thought they were going to get rid of gold, just gold.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Because for $1 more, why would you not pay that $1?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Colt,
that's pointless.
What do you think?
I don't know. Didn't they just raise the price of Game Pass?
Yeah, they raised it. But again, it says that you can do that for $10.99 a month. So why would you pay $9.99 a month for Core and not get those hundreds of high quality games on console?
Yeah, I don't know. PlayStation's doing certain bundles and different things. I don't know.
But we heard for a long time that they were going to get rid of Xbox Gold.
Did you see PC?
Yeah, I've heard for a long time, and I've asked Xbox to get rid of the online paywall, but I wouldn't. I would thought they would have done that when they launched new consoles, and they still haven't. So I'm starting to think they're never going to get rid of the online paywall. They make $1 billion a year or something on it on the online paywall.
Somebody's saying the console has no multiplayer for $10.99.
Correct. If you want to have Game Pass plus
gotcha.
Xbox Live Gold, you're paying for Ultimate, which is $180 or $190.
So basically, you're paying the $16.99 a month for Ultimate, or you're paying $9.99 a month just for no new games. You just get online and play with your friends with games that you buy full price.
Oof.
Okay. It makes, I don't know, man. I just wanted them to get rid of it altogether. That's not happening. Hargeet Shiny, thank you very much. He says, assuming it is correct, it is just a rename of Gold to GP Core, Game Pass Core. Same price, $10 a month, $60 a year. Yeah, it's the same price, but it's just so weird. I don't even know. I guess they're not going to get rid of it anytime soon, but I guess that just broke. Thank you very much for bringing that to our attention. With that said, I'm going to, I got to go. It's been over 2 hours and 30 minutes here. I've got to work tonight. I've got a lot to do. I want to thank my guest, GAAS, of course, who can't be here. He already did his outro earlier. Thank you very much. Game On Daily, go check them out. And GameOnDaily.com, your one-stop shop for all gaming news. Check them out there. And Doc Dark, thank you very much for coming. Thank you. I know it's your first time here, but it's not going to be your last. I enjoyed your time here. You're very good, engaging, entertaining. Let the people know where they can find that good, entertaining, and engaging stuff you got going on your channel. Where can they find it?
Thank you, Fonz. So it's Doc Dark 1985. That's the name of my channel. That's also my gamer tag on everything. If you want to go ahead and check my gamer score and check what I play, you're more than welcome to. It's not going to hurt my feelings, okay? And I also have a Twitch channel in which I live stream gameplay, stuff like that as well, and on Twitter as well. So my whole thing is I do enjoy the console wars and having fun and trolling and all that other stuff, okay? So if you're going to come to my channel for accurate news and all that other stuff, maybe I'm not the person you want to come see, but if you want to come laugh and have some fun and just listen to my opinion, you're more than welcome to come on through. Thank you so much for having me on, Fonz. I appreciate you a lot, man. I've been watching your channel for a minute. You too, Colt. You got to get me on your show, Colt. I got to be on there, okay? I'm putting my own plug on that. And for the chat, listen, you got to take your opportunities. I'm like Jim Ryan right now. I just ran this.
Signing contracts.
Yeah, signing contract. Yep. Yeah. And to the chat, listen, I try to come into the show. I even had my dress shirt on. I was trying to represent everything from the PlayStation side until a small little snippet happened where Fonz called me somebody else, and I just had to break character. But go watch the beginning of the stream, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's
great. Thank you, Colt. Let everybody know. Well, I don't even have to say that. They know where you're at, okay? All these people here know Colt Eastwood. But no, go ahead, give your little outro spiel. Thank you for showing up, man. It was great. I hit up Colt in the middle of the show. GAAS had to leave. I'm like, hey, GAAS is tired. He's got to go. He's got to work in the morning. It's in the, he's in the UK. It's very late. And I understand. I'm like, can you please come? And he's like, well, I just got up from a nap, but yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah, I was sleeping. Yeah, thank you, Fonz. Doc, it's good to be on here with you. So we'll have to work out a way so we can be on a show together soon. I appreciate it. It's I'll be on my Ecstasy podcast tomorrow night.
Yes.
And I think this deal we'll probably close on Tuesday, so not on X&C Day, but we'll cover all the news and
close on RDX Day, Tuesdays, guys. Dealer
on an
Gaming's
RDX
channel.
Day.
Yep.
Yeah, and people need to be educated. So we'll be educating people tomorrow on X&C. People have the whole wrong idea about this, and they're getting schooled. And it's been fun. It's been fun. I've been having a good time, celebrating the excitement of a win for Xbox and hearing these guys jump in out of their lane and crying and moaning and whinging. It's been great. Love it.
Yep.
Love it.
I think that's what it comes down to. I think it's what Doc was alluding to earlier, listening to a whole bunch of people naysay or doom and gloom something that they have no real proof of, or they have no evidence. It's just a lot of doom and gloom for nothing.
Right.
That is funny to me, to see people like melt down over something like this. It's not that big a deal, gamers. You're not losing anything. You'll be able to play these games. If you can't play a certain game because you have to buy another console, isn't that what you guys were asking for years, telling Xbox guys to buy a PlayStation if they wanted to play the games? I mean, it's not a big deal, guys. Go out
They
and
all
buy
have
an
PCs
Xbox.
anyways, Fonz. Remember, they all have super high-powered PCs.
Yeah, if you got if you got your 4090s, just turn it on, play the game. Or how about if you can't afford that, we got a console for you. It's called the Series S. And it's available everywhere today. Go buy it. Anyways,
commercial.
With that said, I want to thank everybody for showing up today and everybody listening after the fact. I appreciate you guys so much. Every week I have a great time here. It helps me keep sane, because right now going through a lot of stuff personally, basically taking care of my parents as they're on their way out, let's say. And it's hard, it's rough, and it's really hard on mentally, not only physically, but mentally. So I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. You guys make me laugh, make me feel joy and stuff. This community is amazing. So I thank you guys very much. And you guys, my panel today was amazing. Thank you guys. Colt, thank you for being such a good friend, always being there for me. Really makes me feel good to be in this community. It really does. So
I might be biased, Fonz, but I think Xbox has better content creators too. I'm just saying.
Well,
I think we do.
You're not the only one saying it.
No.
More
GAAS has been saying it
charismatic,
too.
funnier, like everything.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, I look around at PlayStation content creators, and when I do tune in, it's like, Xbox sucks. Why is Xbox doing? I'm thinking to myself, why are they just talking about Xbox? And don't get me wrong, Xbox guys will make fun of PlayStation or talk about PlayStation sometimes, but it's not the main focus.
Right.
It's our focus is usually the games, and that's what we talk about, or the services that we like, Game Pass.
Right.
I don't know. It's crazy. But anyways, with that said, love all you guys. Till next time, game on.